that cake? Is this freezing for me? What in the world? Am I frozen for you? Everything is frozen on my end. I can't see anything. Let me message Jen. That's weird. No, oh, actually, there we go. Now it's working. Now I see you. That was weird. The whole screen froze. Before, I was 5 minutes late because there was no go live button. I had to re-download the app so I could get a go live button. Like I could set up a live, but then like when you click it to make it go live, no button. So and I did that without help. Okay, I figured that out all by myself. I went in, I uninstalled it, went back and re-downloaded it. I think it's pretty good for me. No, for once you're good. Thanks. Let me pull up Cash App and Venmo real fast. Today is going to be a little bit different. I'm just going to say that off the top. Today's if you are here for like for real political talk today, today is not your day. I'm late. You're late. You just got here. I'm getting so grown up now. All right, let me make sure. You guys got to stop talking to me while I'm loading things. What is Cake Day? Why is it Cake Day? Is it like international or like National Cake Day? Is that a real thing? That'd be wonderful. I'm not keeping up with. Oh, it is. Wow. I think that's a little daring to put it. I don't know if it's always on Tuesday. But that's a cake day followed by pie day. That's dangerous. You're asking for trouble, I think. I don't think that was well planned out. Hopefully, that's something RFK can fix for us. It sounds like something that's right up his alley. Moving cake day to like July when you got a full day of sunlight to work it off. I got both for you. Oh, good. Bree's here. Hey, Bree. I don't know. Is cheesecake really cake? Mute button. Is it really a cake? Like if you got in a cake baking contest, could you do a cheesecake? Do you bake a cheese? How do you even make a cheesecake? I don't know any of this stuff. Well, maybe that's what we ought to do today. Just watch videos of how to make a cheesecake. We're not going to do that. I actually have stuff. I'm going to jump into it. All right. This was from Ron Filipkowski. This is going to be a heavy on the Twitter. Like it's a heavy Twitter show. This is from Tim Rice. New from me at Donald Trump Jr. tells Michael Knowles that his dad may remove mainstream media outlets from the White House briefing room. I'd love to see Rogan in the White House press briefing. It's a real thing that Trump's son is saying. That's a problem. That's not good. When I warned repeatedly, Ron Filipkowski says that Trump intended to go after the free press in a second term. I wasn't talking about things like jailing journalists who refused to reveal leakers or FCC harassment. I was talking about things like this, but they didn't think it would happen to them. This is a big problem. There's another big problem here, and this is one I found yesterday as well. Here's Elon Musk admitting that on Twitter now they are not promoting tweets with links. Like it's better off for you in the algorithm if you don't attach the link. Here's Paul Graham, who I don't know who that is. It says the Jesus Christ, deprioritization of tweets with links in them is Twitter's biggest flaw. It bothers me more than all the new right-wing trolls. Trolls I'm used to, but what draws me to Twitter is to find out what's going on, and you can't do that without links. Elon said, just write a description in the main post and put the link in the reply. This just stops lazy linking. So, like, framing it as if what they're really trying to do is stop people from just like spamming links out. And what's really happening, I think, and this is a little conspiratorial, is this. This is what's trending today. Mexican president announces she is stopping the migrant caravans from arriving at the U.S. southern border after Trump's tariff threat. The announcement came only 12 hours later. This has been amplified like everywhere on right-wing Twitter specifically by massive people. Hunter and Gunther Eagleman, Lara Loomer, Elon Musk himself. I can't find any evidence that this story is true. Like I Googled it. I went to like the 10 pages of Google. I don't think this is a true story. But I think that's kind of Elon's plan now. And I think that's Trump's plan. When they tell you like, hey, the press is the enemy, think for yourselves, and you're like, cool, that's a great idea. But then they manufacture all the information that you get. Like they're saying like, oh, we're gonna specifically not promote article or opinions that have an article linked with them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it? I don't think it's true. Does anybody have that story? I don't think it's true. And yeah, like that story. Whoever just said that, like crossings are already down. Like they were going down. This is why it was a mistake for Elon to take over Twitter, in my opinion. Is Elon doesn't recognize the difference between free speech and speech that he doesn't like. He doesn't understand the difference there. Because speech he doesn't like are things like fact checks and researched articles, people who are paid to do the research. He doesn't like that. But if it's just like some guy tweeting something that he kind of likes, like resonates with him, he's like, that should be amplified. That's real free speech, which is bizarre. Joe Rogan. We get to cover Joe Rogan today. Joe Rogan has, I don't know what's going on with Joe Rogan. I don't want to say conspiracy theory. I will just say this. I think he surrounded himself with a bunch of conservatives, and a lot of those conservatives have absolutely been paid by Russia. We know that. He's had all those people on he's had Tim Pool on his podcast multiple times. He's had Dave Rubin on his podcast. It's clear that at least those people are influenced by Russia. But whoever Joe Rogan is listening to, he also has become pro-Russia in bizarre ways. This is him, I think, 2 days ago.
The world we're living in now, and that's LA, and that's New York, and that's a lot of places that got fucked up by incompetent people.
I don't know. I just feel safer knowing, like,
pull this microphone with your face.
I feel safer knowing that Trump is in office.
I do too.
I feel great about it. Like I just like.
What I don't feel safer is right now they're launching missiles into Russia.
Yeah.
How are you allowed to do that when you're on the way out? Like the people don't want you to be there.
How are you allowed? What? Russia's in their country. Joe Rogan's very upset with Ukraine for firing missiles into Russia. Like, what the fuck are they doing? Just do war. Just do the war, but like do it in your country. Don't send any of that war over to Russia. That's such a crazy thing to say. That's such a crazy opinion to have. That like you're looking at the war in this moment, and the thing you're doing is like fucking Ukraine, man. Why won't they just like stick to the boundaries that Russia decided when they invaded?
Anymore. This should be like some sort of a pause for like significant actions that could potentially start World War III. Maybe that would be a good thing that we would like to avoid from a dying former president. Mm-hmm. It's the whole thing is nuts.
I mean, look, I don't know shit about politics.
Also, I don't know if he knows this, but Joe Biden is not determining where things go. He's not like running the war for Ukraine. I don't know if I honestly don't know if Joe Rogan knows that. I don't know if he knows what the commander-in-chief does. I don't think he knows what's happening in Ukraine. It doesn't seem like he does.
Zelensky says Putin is terrified. Fuck you, man. Fuck you people. You fucking people are about to start World War III.
Yeah, you're about to start it. They invaded your country and you shot some missiles at them and you're about to start it. In what world? That's like in a UFC fight. Like you land a punch in the 4th round and you're like, that starts the fight after you got beat up for 4 rounds. That was my best, just in case Joe Rogan sees this. I'm like, I'll do a UFC one. I don't think it was my best work.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Russia fired a missile today.
I feel
Yeah,
like
they fired an intercontinental ballistic missile for the first time ever. It's the first time one of those has ever been used.
that's insanity.
Yeah, Russia. This is the thing. Like, Jamie tries to jump in there. Jamie's the I don't know what he called him. He's the assistant Rogan. But he's like, Russia actually fired a missile today, and he's like, yeah, fucking Ukraine, man. Why is Ukraine doing this? Now Russia has no choice but to shoot off an ICBM. This is crazy. This is like, the thing is that I honestly think Joe Rogan is authentic. I think he believes all of this. I don't think Joe Rogan is somebody that like purposefully has an agenda. I think he knows all of this.
Fucking insanity, because those intercontinental ballistic missiles can have nukes on them. This one didn't, but if it does, the whole world changes, and it changes because of the military-industrial complex, and it changes because of the money that's going to Ukraine, and it changes because the outgoing president or whoever the fuck is actually running the country is decided to do something fucking insane.
All right, so it's the military-industrial complex, it is the Ukrainians, and it is Joe Biden. That's why we have a problem. Not fucking Russia. Russia's not a problem. It's not them. It couldn't be the country that invaded another country. It's got to be the military-industrial complex, Joe Biden, and the Ukrainians. Yeah, this is so stupid. Like, this dude has whatever like intellect he had before, it has been replaced with like mush brain, like Reddit style Republican politics. That's what he is now. Like, all the cool stuff he had, he's like, get out of there. We're gonna push all that out, and we're gonna jam all these talking points in there, and then they're just gonna come out in such a haphazard way. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Vladimir Putin took his armies, he went into Ukraine, and Joe Rogan doesn't include that on why we're having problems right now. That's not even, it didn't make the top 5.
Yeah,
Fucking insane. And we're all sitting there watching it, and people are cheering it on. CNN was saying, like, finally, see what their headline was about Zelensky about Biden giving Zelensky the ability to use long-range missiles. U.S. made long-range. It's not like nobody knows where they came from.
They're using U.S. missiles to hurt our friends over in Russia. We can't be using U.S. missiles to hurt our friends.
It's not like nobody knows we've been funding this. It's a proxy war. The whole thing is fucking insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
Come to the negotiation table. Sit down. Work this out.
Ooh.
Stop killing everybody.
Yeah, knock it off. Everybody, fucking knock it off. Except for you, Russia. It's fine. You keep doing you. But everybody else, fucking knock it off.
U.S. allows Ukraine to use long-range missiles. So what did they say? Someone had said that, like, CNN was saying that it was a good thing.
Oh,
which I think is
now we can't find the headline.
How has the left gone so far crazy that they think it's a good thing?
Okay, this is Trump derangement syndrome. He goes, what did CNN? CNN was like, yeah, it was a good thing. So they pull up the headlines, and he's like, well, I heard that they said it was a good thing, and we have all these articles. None of them are CNN saying it's a good thing. And when Joe Rogan can't find it, he's like, it's fucking insane. It's insane what the left will do. Like, he's just ignoring that reality right in front of his face that, oh shit, that thing that I thought I heard doesn't show up in a Google search, but I already have chosen to believe that. So here we go. That's how his brain works now. It's embarrassing. I'm telling you, I know that there's probably a segment of people that are here right now that liked Joe Rogan, and they probably look a lot like me and probably talk a lot like me. But for those of us that did, he didn't used to be this dumb. He wasn't this dumb. Like, if there was evidence that came up that contradicted his point of view, he was like, oh, okay, cool. And he would just change his mind. But as soon as he got political, he stopped being a person that, like, takes new evidence and allows his mind to be changed. That's Joe Rogan that used to host Fear Factor. That's the one. That's the one.
To launch missiles.
Just
That's what's scary about life is like you don't want to pay attention to that shit. You just want to live your life. You want to just be carefree and have fun and do the thing that you're passionate about. And meanwhile,
is a guy that has no political influence really. He is a multi-millionaire stand-up comedian, and he's on a podcast right now going, the thing is I would like to just be able to enjoy my life and not have to see all this stuff, but instead I'm going to talk about it 24/7. I'm like, you're a comedian, dude. If you don't want to consume this stuff, you don't have to. You've got funny friends and $300 million. Just go enjoy your life. You don't have to be weighed down by all this, Joe. Like this thing, like he's got the whole world on his shoulders. Like, quit, dude. I don't know. Go back to talking about aliens.
the world is burning.
It's burning.
And
you
you're
can't
just
do
hoping
anything
doesn't
about it.
get
It's like
to you.
at that high level, it's like there's nothing.
Well, we can. We voted Trump in, and
Yeah,
his
but-
idea is to stop all this shit, and hopefully he can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's everybody's idea. Everybody's idea is to stop all this shit. That's everybody currently that is looking at these situations in Ukraine and in Israel. Everybody's like, we should stop this. Everybody agrees with that, except for Big Bo. He wants Russia to take Ukraine.
But, man, fuck.
I get
We got 60 more days until Trump gets in or whatever it is. How many days is it, Jamie?
Now we got to listen to him. Chew.
But who knows? Maybe once he gets in, they'll ramp it up. Who knows? Maybe they'll sabotage his administration.
Yeah.
That's what's even...
Who knows? Maybe he'll be successful, or maybe he'll be sabotaged. There's no room for like maybe he's fucking dumb. Maybe his ideas don't work. He's already laying it out. Like maybe it will work perfectly, just like I believe it will. Otherwise, they cheated. We're already that's who Joe Rogan is now. Is that not like just Trump 101?
But who knows? Maybe once he gets in, they'll ramp it up.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they'll sabotage his administration. That's what's even more scary. People don't want him in power.
That is
And the people that are in power don't want to leave power, and they'll try every way they can to keep it. See?
Yeah, the guy you're talking about last time we asked him to leave power, he like brought a bunch of people to the Capitol, refused to concede for 4 years, and now he's back. Like the irony of Joe Rogan, who again he's not political, he's just a truth seeker. The irony of him saying that. Biden just hosted Trump. He's like, he made a bunch of Democrats mad because he's like, I'm going to do the right thing and I'm going to meet with them and I'm going to help the transition team and I'm going to do what we've always done. And Democrats are like, well, we fucking hate that guy. Don't do that. He didn't do it for you. Like he made everybody mad.
60 days from today. All right.
on the news.
60 days.
Keep your fingers crossed. And
Yeah, just hope Putin understands what's going on as well, and Zelensky doesn't do anything stupid. But saying that Putin,
Yeah, Putin. Look, Putin needs to be aware that guy in Ukraine, he's a real troublemaker. He could cause Vladimir Putin some problems. So head on a swivel, Vladimir.
Putin's terrified. God damn it,
It's like you're trying to like tug the tail of a fucking sleeping
dragon.
He's not asleep. The dragon is in your living room. The dragon has burnt through the wall. This is not a sleeping dragon. It's got you in its mouth. This is great. Look, what the fuck are they talking about? You don't want to provoke Vladimir Putin. He's in your fucking country. He came there for a war. And then Joe Rogan's like, why are we warring with him? Why are we shooting back? What is going on in this world? Trump will fix it in just 60 days. That's so embarrassing. That's a human, grown man adult that's saying that. I don't, what do we do about that? How do you fix that, Big Boat? How do you fix that? That's so goddamn dumb. That's just, yeah. We just got to laugh at it, I think. There's nobody can defend. I don't know who the hell this guy is, but clearly has a good grasp on American politics. I don't know shit about fuck, but I'm scared now. And when Daddy Trump gets there, I'm not going to be scared because he told me that all the scary things are going to go away if he becomes president. And I'm so goddamn dumb that I was just like, yeah, that makes sense. And then I voted for him. Scott Storch. That's Scott Storch. What does he do? Yeah, well, look, it can be funny and it could be 49.8% of the voter base. Like sometimes you still got to just laugh at things that are true. Is that really Scott Storch? Are you guys messing with me? He's in the Roots? All right. Well, really good stuff. Really powerful stuff. The great and powerful Joe Rogan experience. But then out of like off the top ropes, I don't know if you guys know the name Vladimir. It's with a W. He's from Ukraine. Klitschko. He was like the greatest heavyweight boxer, or like he was undefeated for like a decade. I don't know, a very long time. And he is a fighter. And Joe Rogan loves fighters, especially world champion fighters. This is Vladimir, I think is how you say it, Klitschko. And he is Ukrainian, and he responded to Joe Rogan. And I hope Joe Rogan isn't a giant poon and takes this offer.
Joe Rogan, I listened to your latest podcast. I'm sending you this video to let you know that I disagree. You talk about these American weapons being sent to Ukraine, which you believe will lead to the Third World War. So, let me tell you that you're repeating Russian propaganda. Putin's Russia is in trouble, so they want to scare you and people like you. His war was supposed to last 3 days. It has lasted 3 years, thanks to the heroism and sacrifice of us Ukrainians.
That's hot. Get it together.
So you're using the only weapon that Putin really intends to use, propaganda. And this weapon really weakens our democracies. Putin's Russia wants to destroy Ukraine quietly. They want America to stay quiet, not great,
Get to the
but
chopper.
quiet. A great America is not an America that abandons countries that defend freedom with their lives. In short, you see, I have quite a few points of difference. If you invite me on your podcast, we could discuss them like free men.
I believe in Ukraine that actually qualifies as stand-up comedy. The message was great, but I do think in Ukraine you may not be allowed to smile. I don't know. He doesn't have a single smile line on his face. Any of those marks are just from being punched in the face being a boxer. This man has never smiled in his entire life. Joe Rogan might, though. This is the thing. Like, Joe Rogan might take him up on this because Joe Rogan has a massive audience who are fight fans before they're like political fans, and like people love Vladimir Klitschko. They love him. He's one of the greatest of all time. So I think there's going to be some pressure for them to actually do that, and hopefully Joe Rogan figures out that Vladimir Putin might be the bad guy. There's at least a chance that Putin's the bad guy, and I'm hoping somebody could set Joe Rogan straight on that. All right. I told people today, in the Discord, I said, you don't want to miss the show today. And it's because I think, help me out with this. With Taylor Swift with like Eras Tour, is Eras Tour because she has like different musical eras, like she was country and then like pop and then I don't know what you call her now. Is that what that's about? Yes. Okay. Great. I think I'm in. I think I'm in my tabloid journalist era. I might embrace that. And yesterday, I took like a later than normal dose of my ADHD medication, and then I just went on a journey on Twitter. And it was not a journey I expected to take, but I enjoyed the journey. And then it was like I looked at the clock, and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, oh fuck, I haven't prepared anything for tomorrow. And so I just went back and redid all the research of my Twitter journey. And now I'm going to take you guys along on the Twitter journey I went on yesterday. And it's remarkable, and I hope you enjoy it. And let me read some comments first. That was like my NPR voice. I hope you enjoyed that. Chandra says, my left leg is Thanksgiving and my right leg is Christmas. Why don't you come and visit me between the holidays? I didn't see that coming. I don't know why. Thanks. Uh-oh, I just accidentally played a video on my phone. Could have been dangerous. I loved that joke. See, that one was like kind of cute. It embarrassed me in a different way. Yeah, I'm with you, Jackie. Solely, my favorite Disney movie is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I love a hero with a twisted backstory. Oh, I think I'm getting twisted back from sitting in this damn chair too much. God damn it, Vanessa! I want you to start slow, licking me front to back, sticky and sweet. Hmm. I hated that. I don't like that one bit. Was that from yesterday? I swear oh my God. I read the same one from yesterday. I did that twice. Son of a I didn't even have to read that. I just did it. Damn it. Oh, that sucks. Let me update the goal here. That sucks. All right, let's go on a journey. Jen, you're gonna have to probably hop in to remind me to do stuff because I'm probably gonna not be paying very close attention to Discord. The day RTP Media gets an HR department will be disastrous. Yeah, it's over. It's not disaster. It's over. We just shut it down. If Discord or TikTok ever gets HR, I'm shutting it down. There's no way. I don't want to live through that battle. All right. So I saw this tweet because I secretly love Lara. I secretly love following Lara Loomer, especially now that she's kind of a little bit on the outs with MAGA. She goes after them. So I see this tweet that she put up yesterday. It says, I have completely lost all respect for @Timcast. That's Tim Pool. It says it right there. Yeah, Tim Pool, after he allowed, why would you tag him and then say Tim Pool? Weird. After he allowed for the most defamatory and fake things to be spewed about me on his show last night. Zero pushback at all from Tim and zero requests to see evidence of any of the disgusting and false claims made on his show last night. What are you guys going to do if you see that? What are you going to do if you see that tweet? What's the first thing you do? I think you go figure out, you go find the video, right? That's what you do. You go find, yeah, that's what I did. All right. But I do need to give you guys a trigger warning because for anybody who doesn't know Lara Loomer, she's fucking so awful. She's so awful. And she's going to say some shit in here about Kamala Harris. She's going to accuse her of doing things that a lot of our Republicans accused her of with Mayor Brown. But I want to show you this for two reasons. One, to see, so you can see like what kind of person she is, but also two, to watch what she says come full circle by the end.
The way that they're now spreading lies about me, the media now is accusing me of, having an affair with Donald Trump, such a salacious lie. Oh. So malicious, so disrespectful to Donald Trump and Melania Trump. They've taken it so far.
But not to her for some reason.
And if I was a leftist journalist, if I was a Democrat, oh my God, the media would be up in arms if the Republican media was doing this to a left-wing journalist. Oh my God, they're misogynist. They're bullying a woman. They're trying to Monica Lewinsky her. They're demonizing her. They're trying to discredit the fact that she's a working woman. I mean, look, I know that.
Yeah, I wonder if she recognizes that the right is the one that doesn't give a shit about her, that won't ever stand up for her. I wonder if she recognizes that.
Kamala Harris sucked dick to get where she is today, okay, and she had to sleep with Willie Brown in order to get to the top. But some of us women, right, we actually work hard. Some of us women have no desire to have sexual affairs with politicians or men with elite political status to climb the ladder. I know that Kamala Harris can't say the same, but, believe me when I say that that's not me, or as Kamala Harris likes to say, they ain't like us, right?
It might be her. We're going to learn a little more about Lara Loomer, but it is interesting that she says things like, that's not like me. That's what they do.
She ain't like me. I ain't like her. Okay, I don't suck dick to get to the top. That's what Kamala Harris does.
But maybe.
So I'm not going to be told that, Lara Loomer, she's
turn up
this nefarious
sister.
person.
Oh,
she's a conspiracy theorist, and she's, just the most disgusting things. I'm not even going to repeat the things that they're saying about me because, well, it's just honestly the most disgusting shit I've heard in my life. We're going to play.
Yeah, for her to say that's the most disgusting shit she's ever heard in her life, I think that we're going to find out she doesn't listen to herself. But fun fact about Lara Loomer that I didn't know, Lara Loomer, before she was a right-wing content creator, she was a dating guru. And this is her. And a trigger warning in advance. This is her at a white nationalist. I don't know if it's a party or a convention, but this is her attempting to flirt in. Well, just watch.
Your eyes look so good. You're like beautiful.
Thank you.
You're like an Aryan degenerate goddess.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. You're Aryan too.
I know, but I'm Jewish.
And yeah, they're like, you're Aryan, I'm Aryan. This is a real thing that happened.
It's okay.
The Nazis hate me.
It's fine.
The alt-right people want to put me in a gas chamber because they're obsessed with the Jews.
I think they're just memeing on you, but it's okay.
They're just jealous because I have big tits and an Ashkenazi IQ.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You got it.
I'm going to tell you a secret. Like, you know, so many people in this movement who preach trad life are like fucking people on the side and like cheating on their partners.
That's so bad.
Like, they're not even like really trad life. Like,
She just trauma dumped. Yeah, that guy. When you can't land a schmatzy, I don't know what to do. But that's who she was. And then she became friends with Milo. Milo Yiannopoulos is the person she's talking about in the Tim Pool video. And her and Milo used to be very good friends. And you'll see in like the weirdest way. That's a real picture of her and Milo. That's a staged photo that they did together. And then below here, you'll see her with Jack Posobiec. I can't remember that guy's name. And they're doing the white power sign. It's the hand signal there. But that's her and Milo, who is spilling all the dirt on her that she's mad about from Tim Pool's podcast. Yeah. Yeah. Weird, right? I told you this. Today's not going to be for everybody. I just wanted you guys to take this trip with me because it was fucking weird. And what's weird about this is, well, everything, but also how close to power and these people all get. Their proximity to people who make laws is remarkable. That's what the real story is here. It's not just like Lara Loomer's a psycho, because she is a psycho. But when you see the proximity they have to power, it gets more and more terrifying. But we got some fun stuff first, though. I'll get that off the screen. Sorry about that. I did that one. One of those people, like I said in that picture, was Jack Posobiec. This is her another time with Jack Posobiec, doing the white power thing. So these are obviously at this point, like, these are white nationalists. They might call themselves Christian nationalists, but certainly people all around Lara Loomer and Milo seem to be white nationalists. Go down here. Let's see. Can I move this over here? Oh, I can't move this. Yeah, we'll just show you there. Here he is at the White House with credentials, doing white power at the White House during the Trump administration. Why? Because he got to be a guest at the White House. Why did he get to be a guest at the White House? Because white nationalists are welcome at the White House. Here he is speaking at CPAC. I think we showed this before. Welcome. This is an actual speech at CPAC, Conservative Political Action. Trump spoke here. Matt Gaetz spoke here. Ted Cruz spoke here. Tulsi Gabbard spoke here. Everybody on the right. RFK might have spoke there. I don't remember for sure, but yeah, here's Jack at CPAC.
All right, welcome. I just wanted to say, welcome to the end of democracy. We're here to overthrow it completely. We didn't get all the way there on January 6th, but we will endeavor to get rid of it and replace it with this right here. We'll replace it with this right here.
Amen.
That's a cross.
That's right, because all glory is not to government, all glory to God.
That the other guy at the podium there, that was Steve Bannon, who's one of Trump's current chief strategists, one of the people that is making decisions on the transition team. Here is Jack. He went to the DNC, and he decided to debate these two, superheroes. He decided to debate them about abortion, and this is the greatest abortion debate moment in history, as far as I can tell.
How many abortions have you had? How many abortions have you had? How many abortions have you had today?
DNC. I'm getting paid by George Soros to have an abortion on the stage with no drugs.
Which way are you going? Which way are you going?
What do you mean, which way?
Which type of abortion?
What kind of abortions are there, Jack?
There's pills, there's tools, there's a number of ways.
So it's going to be on stage. So a normal person would think that they would use tools, right? And vacuum it out and do all of that. Like if I took a pill that takes several days and nothing happens, you won't see anything. So you should probably like study how female anatomy works. And
I thought it was great. I thought it was great. I loved how quickly she said paid by George Soros. And I'm 100% sure that there are legitimate people on the right that saw that video, thought it was real, and ran with it. But here's where the proximity gets a little scary. This is Jack Posobiec here, or Posobiec, tweeting out, breaking: Media Matters created accounts and gamed the X server to create false impressions for this article. And now we have Stephen Miller jumping in, who is one of Trump's key advisors. Fraud is both a civil and criminal violation. There are 24 plus conservative states attorneys general. And then we have Elon. So Jack Posobiec is very connected to both Stephen Miller and Elon Musk here. They are echoing the things that he says. They also seem to echo a lot of his other views. Proximity to power there is a little nerve-wracking for me. And Stephen Miller, like we said, that's basically Trump's messenger. They've said like Joseph Goebbels. I know that a lot of people don't like that. But there's actually, let me see if I can find, I might have a picture of it. They actually weirdly look really similar. I don't know if I have it here. Let me see. See if it was in my saved ones. Dang, I don't think I saved it. Damn, that would have been a good one to have. Wait, did I miss one thing with I might have missed one thing with Lara Loomer. Okay, I didn't. All right. So there's Elon interacting with him. Stephen Miller, he's a self-avowed white nationalist. His story is actually crazy. There's a book called Hate Monger. It was written by Gene Guerrero, and it's a book about Stephen Miller. And when you see Stephen Miller, you're like, who's this guy? Does he really have any sway? Like, he doesn't look like somebody you should take seriously. But when you look at the history of Stephen Miller, the stuff I was completely unaware about, it's pretty clear that this person has shaped the Republican Party without really being in the spotlight. So Gene Guerrero says, one of the reasons I was drawn to Stephen Miller's story, the fact that he grew up in Southern California in the 90s at the same time that I did. You know, I'm a couple years younger than him, and I grew up just a couple hours south of where he grew up in Santa Monica. And I remember, you know, the incredible anti-immigrant hostility that was pervasive in California at the time, which may be surprising to people because California is known as such a deep blue state and kind of leads the charge against the Trump administration today. But in the 90s, it was sort of ground zero, like a microcosm for what we're seeing nationally today. There were unprecedented attacks on immigrants through a proposition called Prop 187, which, you know, targeted social services for children of undocumented migrants. It was later ruled unconstitutional. There was also attacks on bilingual education statewide. There were attacks on affirmative action. These are all things I didn't know. I didn't know any of this stuff. Where were our California friends? You should have told us about this. The governor at the time was a Republican, Pete Wilson, and he was repeatedly railing against what he called, tell me if this sounds familiar, the invasion at the border. The same type of language you see Trump using today, and blaming all of the state's fiscal problems on immigrants. Running these ads on television that I remember watching about how showing families coming across the border, and there's this ominous narrator over the video saying, "They keep coming." That's pretty good. That's my narrator voice. I found it. And from my reporting, it became clear to me that Stephen Miller is truly a product of this environment. He was internalizing a lot of these white supremacist and racist narratives that were common in the state and acting them out. He ends up going to Santa Monica High School, a very diverse public high school. And he would go around from a young age expressing racist viewpoints, telling his Mexican classmates to speak English and go back to their countries if they couldn't learn the American way. He would go to school board meetings to argue passionately against measures to improve racial equity. Around this time, he broke. He ended a friendship with a Mexican friend, telling him he could no longer be friends with him because of his Latino heritage. This is high school Stephen Miller. And it's like, all right, well, these shaped his views, but like, this is decades later. No, this is actually how Stephen Miller got famous. Stephen Miller, I was unaware, got famous as a teenager, and now, looking back, I think I kind of remember him. Back when Stephen Miller was in high school, he listened to right-wing talk radio. He listened to Rush Limbaugh. Shout out to all the Rush Limbaugh kids in the chat. Shout out. He listened to Rush Limbaugh, and he listened to a show called The Larry Elder Show on KABC. The LA Times described Larry Elder as a darling of white listeners who seemed to almost gush when they telephoned him on KABC Talk Radio, astonished to find a black man who not only was going to chastise them, but who often agreed with them. So he starts off listening to Larry Elder, then he calls Larry Elder, and then he becomes a guest on Larry Elder. And that's where he actually gets his start. He starts being like a regular contributor from on Larry Elder's show in California as a 17, 18-year-old high school kid. But then he says from a very young age, Miller's been great about using the media to forward his views and get power. And when he was a teenager and he hooked up with Larry Elder, that was like, they were so impressed that they started like gushing about him. They were like, he's unabashed, he's unapologetic, he says it like he is. Which, if Rush Limbaugh is calling you unapologetic or saying like he says it how he is, that means you're saying the racist shit that Rush Limbaugh isn't really allowed to say. That's what that means. If you have Rush Limbaugh being like, man, I wish I had the courage to say that, you're just openly racist at that point. That's like that you don't have the facade of like, I'm not a racist. So he winds up Stephen Miller winds up being taken under the wing of David Horowitz. If any of you guys know who David Horowitz is, he was like a Marxist, and then it was the weirdest flip. He went from a Marxist to like a conservative writer. And he was focused. He was like a Jordan Peterson type. He was super focused on bringing in like younger Republicans and speaking to like their aggrievement, right? They're speaking about like, oh, you truly are the victims. Sound familiar? That's how Jordan Peterson got rich. That's how a lot of these right-wing creators are making their money, the exact same way. But Stephen Miller was like kind of the first one to do that at a young age with David Horowitz. David Horowitz used language of this, where is this? He was focused on teaching young conservatives like Stephen Miller how to use the language of the civil rights movement against the civil rights movements. So casting white men as victims of discrimination based on their skin color, and calling liberals and people of color the real racists, and calling liberals and people of color oppressors, which we've all seen. Like, this is who I would say, like the younger, the Andrew Tate types, the Tim Pool types, the people that like that audience. This is what they argue, right? Like, if I can't be racist, then you can't point out racism. It's kind of like the thing, like the thing that they think is so unfair. If I can't say everything, then you can't get mad at me because you've limited my speech. Horowitz was listening to Stephen Miller, but behind the scenes working with Stephen Miller. But she says, the author says, I mean, there were a lot of people listening to Stephen Miller on Larry Elder, a lot of people who went on to shape Trumpism. There was Steve Bannon. There was Andrew Breitbart. There was Alex Marlowe. And a lot of these people remember listening to teenage Stephen Miller on the Larry Elder show and being so impressed with him. Horowitz kind of takes Stephen Miller under his wing, becomes like a father figure, invites him to come to his house to talk about ideas, and like sets up his career. And he told Stephen Miller that the two most important things that you can do, as you shape your career, is your messaging around two things: hope and fear. That those are the two best weapons in politics. But by far, the most productive is fear, because it's more compelling. And so Republicans should appeal to Americans' base instincts rather than talking about Republicans like success at job creation. Instead, call the Democrats job destroyers. Right? So whatever the position is, whatever you want to say that you're good at, instead of doing that, just attack the Democrats, which they've done. You look at Trumpism, and they've done it. Honestly, this was really eye-opening to me, but they did it perfectly, if we're being completely fair. Like, all of you are criminals. Then when Trump's a criminal, they're like, yeah, everybody's a criminal. Right? Like, all the elections are stolen. And then when Trump says the election's stolen and he does things that are criminal, like, his base is like, oh, well, everybody's corrupt. We're just the only ones getting caught. It's actually brilliant. You just accuse the other side of doing exactly what you're doing. Yeah, Republicans don't create. I agree with you there. I think that might be why they don't talk about job creation. But look, like, if you look at the Trump administration, there was job creation every year, and that's the case in this country almost every year. There's always positive job creation. There's more people, and they filter out people who aren't working anymore. So that's almost always the case, anyways. So there's ways that Republicans could just take that data and be like, look, this is job creation and low taxes, which is basically what they do, so that people don't realize that we're being robbed blind by the billionaire class. So Horowitz is a man, even though he says he insists that he's not racist, and he insists that he's not a white supremacist. But if you look at his writings, they're completely steeped in race. He says that white men are responsible for all the things we hold dear in America, things like freedom, equality, which is ahistorical. It like fundamentally just ignores the central role played by people of color in American history, specifically the civil rights movement, and saying things like, it's white people that are responsible for ideals like liberty and equality, and that those things are for some reason true to them, even though I don't think they believe in liberty for everybody or equality for everybody. So Horowitz, his story's kind of wild. He was like a lefty journalist, and this will just kind of give you an idea of how he shaped Stephen Miller's views. But he was a lefty journalist, and he worked. I think he did. I think he was reporting on the Black Panthers, and he recommended his friend Betsy to work like in the accounting department. She's a white woman, and she ended up being unalived. And they never solved the crime, but for some reason Horowitz blamed the Black Panthers party, and he just became like convinced that they had unalived her. And then he goes through this like sudden transformation, and this is where you see like the Bernie bro transformation. It's kind of the same thing, right? You're on the left, and then something that you view as injustice happens, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going from the left to like an authoritarian. I've got to go this way because the authoritarian would never let this bad thing happen. And that's how David Horowitz winds up being radicalized to the right. Let me read comments. This is gonna be a weird one. Jumar said, for twisted back therapy. It's gonna be interesting to see how you guys do comments today. Some interesting material. Daniel says, F Big Boat. What'd you do, Big Boat? Is Big Boat making people mad in the chat? All right, I got that. Is Big Boat causing issues? What's up, Smiley? Did you have something to add on this, Smiley? Where is Smiley? Smiley, I just saw you come up. Did you have something you want to talk about with this? No go on Smiley? All right. Sorry, Smiley. Hey, Jen.
Before Smiley decides if he's up or not, just wanted to remind everybody, we've got a gift goal. Just so everybody knows, we got to hit that every day so we can keep this going. We don't want to have to end up going to sell our souls or anything. Mine's not worth a whole lot, to be honest, because I don't have one.
I'm going to sell body parts, I think.
I don't know if you just got back from Mexico. I'm not sure we'll get much for yours. So
what does that even mean?
You got a Mexican tattoo. I mean, you haven't. How long does it take hepatitis to show up?
I don't know. That place looked clean though. If we're being honest, they looked clean, and they sprayed my arm with something. He even had this real nice razor to take off some of the hair.
They use water when we do tattoos.
Yeah, it was a great. I don't know. So far, it's good. It's red and it's raised about half an inch, but I think that's normal.
I just meant sanitary. You don't drink water in Mexico. I'm nervous about.
Listen. When I was sick on Friday night, I think I took care of all of that. I think anything I consumed in Mexico was no longer inside of me by Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, that's. Yeah. So, if you want to send Jason messages, that would be fantastic. With that, and then if you haven't subscribed to us over on YouTube, RTB Talks, that would be great.
That would be so great.
That would be awesome. The best thing ever.
I would enjoy that. All right. Hey, Bree's here.
Yay.
She said your doctor just called and said that you're a little low on vitamin me. Oh, that's why you were sick. That's actually adorable. It doesn't make my face red at all.
No.
Oh, she's losing her edge. No. Okay. My mom just texted me and said Jen can stop shitting on Mexico now. So now you've made my mom upset. She's listening.
Sorry, Mom. I mean more like where Jay, his behavior had nothing to do with you. It's all just
That's enough. Bye, Jen. That's enough. That is absolutely enough, Jen. All right, let's get back to this story. Fuck. I thought we were friends. I really thought me and Jen were good. All right, so where's that interview at? There we go. We were talking about David Horowitz, how he got radicalized. And then he obviously takes Stephen Miller under his wing, and Stephen Miller rises through the ranks, and he gets his first real job as the press secretary for Michelle Bachmann. You guys remember Michelle Bachmann? She was just that super racist white lady that even the Republicans are whoa, you've got problems. Was she also maybe a witch? I can't remember. I think maybe she was also a witch. Was that her, or am I mixing her up with someone else? Wasn't she Wiccan or something? I don't know if that's a pejorative for people who are Wiccan. I apologize if that is. That was Delaware? Okay, I don't remember who that was. Anyways, look up Michelle Bachmann. Just type in controversial statements Michelle Bachmann, and you'll be good. And just look at how she talks to in such apocalyptic terms. And that's where you see Steve Miller. You don't realize he shaped American politics like he did. From there, he went on to be Jeff Sessions. I think he was his. What was he? I think he was a press secretary. Yeah, I think press secretary. And Jeff Sessions was already really anti-immigrant, but he tried to do that compassionate conservative argument. And Stephen Miller's no, we have to model this differently. And so he started having Jeff Sessions say things like immigration's going to decimate this country. And how anybody who supports immigration is part of the globalist elite who want to destroy the country through limitless importation of cheap labor in the form of mass migration. He's basically, Jeff Sessions is one of the first people to openly phrase it in that way, to do modern day replacement theory where everybody was hearing it, because Jeff Sessions was somebody that was, I don't know if respected is the right word, but powerful in Washington. so we see then he because of Jeff Sessions, he gets back in touch with Steve Bannon, and Steve Bannon during that time puts Stephen Miller on the staff at Breitbart, where his job was just basically to take writers' stories and then shape them to turn them more apocalyptic, to get people more engaged, more irate. And so anything they ever put out at Breitbart that was about immigration, Stephen Miller had his hand in that. And that's where you see the Tea Party. That's where you see the rise of MAGA. Like that all comes from Breitbart, from around that time. That's where you get Glenn Beck from. Yeah. So, and again, Stephen Miller, fine. So far, we've got him working with Jeff Sessions, who was Trump's attorney general, Steve Bannon, who's Trump's key advisor, and Stephen Miller, of course, is one of Trump's closest advisors. And all those people talk to Lara Loomer and Jack Posobiec. Like they all work with known white supremacists, like just actual white supremacists. They just casually interact with them. They work together. They take pictures together. They sometimes ride on planes together. They sometimes ride on Trump's plane with him. Both Jack Posobiec and Lara Loomer have been on Trump's plane. All of these people have been on Trump's plane, flying with him. And you guys MAGA doesn't get to be like, oh, they're just on the same plane because, Epstein. So you have to stay consistent on that. What Stephen Miller ends up actually adopting almost verbatim the immigration policies that were recommended by two think tanks. You had FAIR, which is Federation of American Immigration Reform, and CIS, which is the Center for Immigration Studies. These are two think tanks that Southern Poverty Law Center has labeled as hate groups. Like they're on the list. These are hate groups, and Stephen Miller takes almost verbatim all of their talking points, and he puts them out there for not only Jeff Sessions, but for Breitbart and for the Tea Party. These think tanks were created by a man named John Tanton. Want to guess what John Tanton did for work? He was a writer. He was a researcher, and he studied eugenics. He's an obvious white supremacist who believed in population control for non-white people and believed in the genetic superiority of whites in race-based pseudoscience. So that's cool. So we've got actual like eugenics shaping the policy now of Michelle Bachmann, Jeff Sessions, Tea Party, and the founding of MAGA. See how this happened? From Stephen Miller getting on Rush Limbaugh's show and Larry Elder's show and saying the stuff that the adults were afraid to say because society had deemed it racist, and so the racists kind of had to go back in the closet, and they couldn't talk like that on the radio. Stephen Miller kind of opened the door for them to come back. It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then again, he's just friends with Lara Loomer. And by the way, the Lara Loomer story, it's going to get funny again. But that kind of shows you Stephen Miller. I have the link to that article. It's called, it's just a transcript of an interview. I'm sure you can watch it. It's called Hate Monger. That's the name of the book. And the author is Gene Guerrero. And this interview was by Terry Gross. So you can look at it. I think it was NPR that hosted it, but highly recommended if you want to understand like how Stephen Miller is shaping American politics and why we said like Project 2025 is here. This is Christian nationalism. Donald Trump's cabinet is filled with people who agree with this. Get in your RV. Now's a good time. What's up? Get in your RV. What's up? Goodbye, your RV. Not there. All right. Let me find where we were at. Okay, so here's all right, we're done with that. I wanted to show you that. Now we're back to gossip because here's where it gets good. All right. This is the part I told people they didn't want to miss. So remember that Lara Loomer's complaining about what happened on Tim Pool's podcast She doesn't really add any specifics, but Milo talks about this for 4 minutes and 54 seconds. And again, I just need to preface this by saying Milo is a despicable human being. He has despicable viewpoints, and so does Lara Loomer. And sometimes they try and outdo each other with their despicable viewpoints. And so you're going to hear some things that are unsettling, trigger warning for like everything. Virtually everything, trigger warning coming up. But if you like Republican on Republican crime, you are going to absolutely love what Milo says about Lara Loomer. This is Milo Yiannopoulos. Milo is crazy. Milo came on the scene like maybe 10 years ago, and he was an openly gay conservative, but like again, openly gay. I don't know if he was married or had a boyfriend. And then he said a bunch of racist shit, and he kind of got canceled, so he had to remake himself. So he remade himself into like this alt-right figure. He said that he found Jesus and that he wasn't gay anymore, but he still lives with his husband. They're just roommates now, and now he kind of just like he talks to that people. So if you have a bunch of me-looking people in your life that are like 16 to 30, they all know who Milo is. But that's the story on Milo. Milo is a character, though. Milo doesn't have any sincere beliefs at all. Milo is a shock jock. If tomorrow he sees an opportunity to change his political opinion, he'll absolutely take it. He's just going where he knows the money is. And right now the money is on spilling the dirt on Lara Loomer, and we all get to benefit.
Lara Loomer.
Why was she brought in?
Of course, to begin with, completely insane. And Lara was brought on into the campaign by Jason Miller, who is that sort of frog-faced, useless.
They're talking about the Trump campaign just recently, towards the end of the campaign, when Lara Loomer was brought onto the campaign.
A bag of never mind. But Jason Miller and Boris Epshteyn, who's the head of Trump's legal team, these are the two guys who were kind of like, oh yeah, Lara Loomer, maybe Lara Loomer. And so she gets on the plane, and then Lara Loomer claims to a bunch of people in Palm Beach, all of her friends around in Miami, that she had...
Ready? Trigger warning. Brace yourself warning. Finish what's in your mouth warning. If you have a queasy stomach, you may want to tune this out. Here comes the trigger warning. There you go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Performed.
Family friendly.
Huh?
Family
Monica
friendly.
Lewinsky.
I was going to say a sex act.
There you go. She alleged this. She alleged to people she was spreading those.
I love you, and I try to take care of you. And do you know how difficult it is for me to talk like this on your show? Do you know? Do you know how hard this is?
A members only show.
Yeah, I'll say.
We'll go off.
Or whatever it is. I can't. You know, it's been so long since I had sex. I did it the wrong way. I did it like that. It's just completely wrong.
Sorry.
No, she claimed that she had performed a sex act on the president to a lot of her friends. And this, I was like, okay, all right, okay. So I got a call from somebody, and they said, we need to get rid of her. The president wants to get rid of her, but he doesn't want to be the one to do it because she's crazy. So we don't want her turning on the president because so many people, so many followers and everything. So my job was to bring things about Lara to light that made her ineligible to, be on the plane and around the president's circle. So, for instance, she's not Jewish. She made it up. A friend of mine was there when she did it. She ordered a Star of David necklace off the internet so that she could be ruder about Jews on stage at a rally in 2018.
Lara Loomer isn't Jewish?
She's not Jewish. She's the only person in history.
Now, I'm going to have to skip that. Let me show you. There is proof. That part of the story is that she had to learn how to be Jewish. This is I don't know. We can call it proof. We can call it not proof. But this is something Milo had posted, saying this. He found it. Here's Lara Loomer in 2020 practicing how to draw the Star of David correctly. So, I don't know what's true, but it's pretty wild.
Wait, so what's
She's the only person in history. I submitted her for the Guinness Book of Records because she's the only person in history who's ever had a nose job to look more Jewish. It's the most amazing thing you've ever heard.
Sorry,
in your life.
I forgot it.
But I also
I've never heard that about her before.
Well, she's not actually Jewish. When
she even ran for Congress, and that never came up.
Right. When she
who watches this? Let me tell you something, Em. This is one of the most popular shows on the right. Tim Pool is a top 3 content creator, one of the 3 most watched shows on the right. This is a massive show. This is going out, like, it seems fringe. This is going out to the masses. This people all over on the conservative side saw this interview, and they didn't really. You notice nobody said anything about it, but they all saw this. Yeah, he's one of the Russian paid podcasts.
Because I was communications director, but no. When
maybe did
yes,
not a great job.
Sorry.
Big Bo, you don't lie and say you haven't heard of Tim Pool. You watch this show every day. I brought up Tim Pool a million times. I've showed clips of him. You lying sack of shit.
It sounds like things went sour with Laura, and you guys have a lot of bad blood, and you sank her as a result of that. Am I reading this right?
People do pay me a lot of money to clean up my own messes. I'm just realizing this now.
Yeah.
No. Anyway.
Who do you think pays him? Who do you guys think pays Milo? He doesn't really have like a channel or a podcast. He has tons of money though. Somebody's paying him. Somebody's paying him to be a provocateur because he doesn't have to. He can go anywhere he wants. He can talk about anything he wants. His whole job is just to like create chaos, and I kind of love him for the GOP because this is we said it all leading up. MAGA will eat itself. You know how going across like the debates now, nobody wants to debate anything new. Anything you're seeing from the right is just like rehashing old stuff every time. Like they want to talk about the prosecutions. It's because they've been stuck for 4 years in this like victim cycle, and I guess more every time Trump they tried to impeach him. Maybe his whole presidency. All right, let's call it 9 years. Shit, it's been a long time. Let's call it 9 years. They've been they're just like we're the victim, we're the victim, we're the victim. And now that they're not the victim, they're not really sure what to do. Like they have no idea what to do with themselves right now. So they're just going to start eating each other. Like now they're like, "Uh-oh, we need drama. We need something going wrong. We need somebody to scapegoat." And so they just start infighting. We said this, MAGA is going to be very small. Trump is going to fire a remarkable amount of people. Every time anything goes wrong, Trump's going to fire them. This is, I said yesterday, like this is so terrible for the country, but it's so good for us. Like we're going to have stuff to talk about all day. I don't think we're going to have any issues coming up with content for the next 4 years. It's going to be wild. And you see it here. These are the most influential people on the right. These people are outside of Trump, probably the most influential.
Anyway, so Laura is when Laura was going to give a talk to the Republican Jewish Palm Beach Coalition or whatever it is, she drew what she thought was a Star of David on the folder she was holding her speech in, the speech I'd just written for her, except it wasn't a Star of David. What? But it's a Satanism thing.
Skip that. Sorry.
People will say because there's no different, you couldn't copy it. She couldn't copy it. So this is the first clue. Thank you. This is the first clue I had something was wrong. Anyway, and the second thing that I released was that in addition to her
it's a very dry mouth. Now I have a dry mouth too, but I assume for different reasons.
That's what sank her among Trump?
No. Her candidate Jewishness. What really sank her among
Seems
Trump
to
is
have
he
energy.
hates plastic surgery, and he wondered why she looked so weird. And when I told them it's because she'd had so many procedures, Trump is kind of like a bit repulsed by plastic surgery. That's the real thing that sunk her. But the other thing.
Okay, somebody had to tell him. Someone had to tell Trump that she had a bunch of plastic surgery. Let me go to my bookmarks again. Let me show you how hard that should have been to recognize. This was Lara Loomer before. This is Lara Loomer now. Trump's like, those aren't natural features. I can't believe that's plastic surgery. That's my favorite part, is that Trump's like, oh, now I'm disgusted by you. Not before, But now, I mean, that before and after is remarkable. They call this, they're calling it the Mar-a-Lago makeover. If you go on Twitter and look at Mar-a-Lago makeover, I bet it's really prevalent actually on Blue Sky too. I didn't look, but they're posting these before and afters. Like here is what's her Kimberly Guilfoyle when she was married to Gavin Newsom, and then, I mean, I'm gonna make a pencil disappear. That's so bad. Yeah, I mean, that's not the same human. That's not the same person. But I like how their eyes become cold and dead. Now, Lara Loomer's eyes were already a little bit cold and dead, so I don't think that's new. But that's called the Mar-a-Lago makeover. I think you can look at like Lara Trump, like she has really inflated her lips lately. I'm happy to see Marge staying away from the plastic surgery and being natural, all natural Marge. All right, let me go. Oh, back to the video's pretty much done with Milo. That was basically what you needed to hear out of Milo on that video. But then there's so much more. This is a tweet from Milo saying that Loomer's signature move when she's dating men is crawling into bed with sleeping strangers or junior staff, and I quote, letting her mouth do the rest. There was a 20-year-old volunteer who begged Milo and the people around Lara Loomer to make it stop. And we have him. His name is Gavin Wax. Gavin Wax is at the time was a 20-year-old. He was the head of the New York Young Republicans. And we'll just let him tell his story of his night out with Lara Loomer.
Hi, my name is Gavin Wax. I'm here to talk about the serial predator Lara Loomer. I met with her and it went from a professional meeting and it slowly descended into this really weird, awkward, and bizarre date. She was trying to make it into a date, and I sort of realized this and I cut it short. The week or weeks thereafter, I was getting dozens and dozens of just texts, unsolicited, calls unsolicited. They were just getting more and more strange by the day. I started to ignore her, and I started to realize she was probably stalking me. I learned that she was adding friends on Facebook of mine that had never met her, and was adding my family on Facebook, was commenting on photos, writing really weird things. I had to delete them, and it just got really out of hand. I would start getting calls randomly from restricted numbers, answer, hang up, answer, hang up. One day, I was at work towards the end of the day, almost 6 o'clock, get a call from the front desk, said there's a guest here for Gavin. Her name was Laura, and can we let them up? And we said, no, don't let her up. She hasn't been invited, she's not allowed to come into the office. I thought she was absolutely insane by this point, so I had to leave through an emergency exit and leave out like a side street. She found out where I lived because she started sending me my address via text at this point. This was right after she found out where I worked.
Can you imagine just getting your own address? You blocked a number, so you just get a text message from a random number with your address. Actually, I can't imagine that. I can imagine things very similar to that. I take it back. Maybe I just had empathy for this guy.
Address that is. She would go to all these other Republican events in the city, like young Republican events and stuff like that, and she would just approach friends of mine or not even friends, like acquaintances, and interrogate them and just demand to know where I was, who I was with, where I was going. She would tell them that like we went on all these dates and like all these ridiculous things that just never happened. And I literally met her at this point, or like even encountered her like maybe 3 times. Then she basically started messaging me, why am I ignoring you? Why am I ignoring you?
What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? I found out everything about you. I changed my number 50 times. Why are you ignoring me?
And if you don't stop, I'm going to expose you for what you are. You're a Nazi, all this other stuff. And she knows I'm Jewish. She said she would post my address and all my personal information to her followers and all this other stuff. Then she would also just start telling all people I knew at these events that I was gay because I wasn't interested in her.
That's Lara Loomer. That's again, that was Gavin Wax. He's the president of the New York Young Republicans, or he was. I don't know if he still is. At the time he was. That was in 2020. Got real petty. This is just petty. This next video is just petty. I just added it because it's petty. This is Milo saying, this is how she acts in relationships, constantly wailing at the other person for not loving her. She's so horrific. I appreciated this. I love dogs. And I think dogs are good judges of character. And by, like, I mean, like, they're forgiving of almost everything, right? You can be, like, pretty shitty and a dog will still like you. But if you're, like, really shitty, the dogs know. Like, they're just very loving and accepting people, animals. And this dog, I think, it should have been the red flag. This should have ended her career.
Oh, mommy loves you. I love giving you kisses.
This is bizarre.
She won't kiss me.
She will not kiss.
She will not give me a kiss.
Laura, we need to fix this.
You.
It's broken.
I know.
It's broken. What's going on?
Why don't you love me, Loomer? I want you to love me the same way
She named her
I
dog
love you,
Loomer also.
Oh, Loomer loves you.
That was just petty. I thought that was funny. But it should have been. It's petty. It's silly. It doesn't mean anything, but also somehow means everything. Like, that's... If my dog ever, like, isn't trying to climb on somebody, I'm gonna be like, uh-oh, poor dog. Yeah, name your dog after yourself. Well, that's kind of weird. I didn't even think about that. What do we think about people naming dogs after themselves? What does that say about the person? Where's our therapist in here? It's confirmation. Bree says, I'm still trying to finish you in my mouth. I've got the twirl on lock. I don't even know what that means. Why did you say that? I don't know what that means, Bree. Oh, God. It's like you saved them all up until we were talking about Loomer. While she's making pencils disappear, I can make you disappear inside of me. Thank you. Thank you, Cameron. I'm going to do what you do. I'm going to do to you what Lara Loomer did to Trump on the Epstein plane. Call it the jigsaw. I don't know what that even means. What does that mean? I don't understand any of this. I might go back to being Christian. Let them eat each other alive and you can come eat me. Jesus. Then let me taste. Good Lord. I can never run for office or hold a job where they have to have a good image. Bree says 2 sperm are swimming around inside a lass. One says, "Are we at the egg yet?" The other replies, "Nah, mate, we've only just passed the tonsils." So you're trying to replicate this or what? God damn it. God damn it. If I survived getting a tattoo in Victorville, California, garage, midsummer, 115 degrees from a guy named Boxers, straight out the joint with a cassette player motor and a guitar string, I think you will be fine. Thank you, Ryan. It really was like a last minute. I was just like, I'm getting a tattoo today. Toby says, I want you inside of me by Sunday. That is the Lord's Day, Toby. That Sundays are dedicated to the Lord. Okay? We're rededicating our lives to Jesus. Jumar says they're going to get you for the dry mouth comment. So far, nobody. That's terrific. And then, let's see. Something just came through on PayPal, I think. Gabriel says, Jesus. You can't get femboys pregnant, but that's not going to stop me from letting Daddy J try. I also don't know what that means. I don't know what any of this stuff means. This is I don't even know if I'm embarrassed by it. I have no idea what you guys are even talking about. Buenos dias, Joe. You can't get me on the I missed one. There's no way I missed one. Amber says, I'll make you call out to God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Thank you. Trying to get back to my story. I feel like I read all yours. Oh, there it is. I can help you get your mouth wet, boo. No need to suffer. Thank you. God, fuck. Yeah, I definitely didn't read that one. Terrific. Milo once tweeted, people keep asking me what Lara Loomer smells like. A hospital, formaldehyde, and microwave dinners with the occasional tang of old wee, which is tough. But here's one cool thing that I like about Milo right now. He seems to be headed, like he's spiraling. But he once said this. Somebody asked him 2 days ago, when I say once said this, homie, do you have dirt on everyone in the conservative media? He said it started off as a hobby, but 10 years ago, I'm on the 10 years in, I'm the Vatican archives of career-ending conservative cringe. Right-wing media people are so much worse than you think. We might be on the verge. And get that. That's got to get out of my way. And one of the people that we might be on the verge of learning some things about is Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's a big problem. Marjorie Taylor Greene allegedly hired Milo as like a comms director. And then all of his old tweets and videos resurfaced. And she's like, no, I didn't hire him. And then they're like, wait, but he's got credentials. And she's like, oh, well, he must have just been an intern, but I didn't know he was an intern. Here is Milo with this, just the intern. He's just an intern taking this picture with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Does that look like an intern picture to you? Like, it's pretty chummy to me. There's I don't know where this article's from. This is from the Associated Press. Marjorie Taylor Greene hires Milo as a congressional intern. There's his intern badge. He's clearly sitting across the desk there. Got a nice little Louis Vuitton something, maybe wallet right there. That says Marjorie Greene right there on top. That's her desk. He's just at her desk casually. But she didn't really know who he was. And that's not important just like because they knew each other. But here's something you may not have known that I didn't know, and it seems to be confirmed. Nick Fuentes posted a text message from Marjorie Taylor Greene's former congressional intern Milo Yiannopoulos showing an unannounced ghostwritten book for Marjorie Taylor Greene titled The Case for Christian Nationalism. This is her book and also the Christian Bible. Now, Milo, Fuentes says the Christian Nationalist Bible was ghostwritten by a gay Jewish person. I'm fixing that. Yeah, that's about right. Proofread by the husband. Pay close attention to the background of that house. Seems like Milo actually wrote her book on Christian nationalism. So it's like a troll has risen through the ranks to the point where they're ghostwriting Marjorie Taylor Greene's book. So that's pretty cool. He once, this is one of my favorite stories. Milo once used, this is, David Packman can explain it here, but he once used Marjorie Taylor Greene's credit card for unauthorized purchases.
This is a wacky story. It is now alleged that former current right-wing provocateur Milo Yiannopoulos, who I believe, quote, interned for Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, every element of this story doesn't make any sense. Milo Yiannopoulos is accused of stealing Marjorie Taylor Greene's credit card and using it to pay campaign expenses for Kanye West's presidential campaign, which never really got going. And if you look into the details, it actually seems as though Milo used the credit card to buy a domain, which he was then reimbursed for, but then he was reimbursed a bunch more money, which anytime you see that, you start wondering about money laundering. It's a completely bonkers story. It gets completely lost, understandably, in all of the things we've been looking at for the last several weeks, the Clarence Thomas insanity, the Trump town hall, Ukraine, Russia, all these different things. It's hard to keep up with all of it.
Yeah.
But
That's what's like. The last year is so crazy that this wasn't a news story. We forgot all about it.
This is yet another one of those really weird details. How did Milo end up associated with Kanye West? How did Milo end up associated with Marjorie Taylor Greene? Why did Milo have Marjorie Taylor Greene's credit card or credit card number? It's all bizarre and crazy. But politics does make strange bedfellows, that we know. This is a wacky story.
So there we go. Apparently, let's see if I can find this. The day that he actually spent that money for Marjorie Taylor Greene's credit card, this also happened. Did I highlight this? I thought I highlighted this. Did I not? All right, it's just short. Rep Marjorie Taylor Greene slammed far-right turned Kanye West campaign insider Milo on Wednesday in the wake of a news report that he used a credit card belonging to her campaign for the $7,000 purchase of yannopoulos.com. Congresswoman Greene knew nothing about the gross negligence made by a vendor and is being unfairly attacked. A vendor? I don't know. He was an intern. The campaign was told the purchase was refunded. This wasn't the case. According to Rolling Stone's Tim Dickinson, Greene immediately distanced herself from Yiannopoulos to avoid blowback, since there are rules that dictate limits of how much one campaign can donate to one another. The most you can donate is $2,000. The payment to purchase a rival campaign's website is damaging to Greene, a supposed Trump loyalist, both legally and politically. The date of the credit card transaction, however, was on the same day that Donald Trump infamously dined at Mar-a-Lago with Kanye West and Nick Fuentes, an event that Milo claimed he organized. This dude is good. He is so good. He is organizing a dinner that gets Kanye West and Nick Fuentes at Mar-a-Lago, two schmatzis and maybe a third, and at the same time uses Marjorie Taylor Greene's credit card to fund a website, because that website needs to be up, and I'm going to guess that he probably also leaked the story to the press, and then that story gets out there. Yay 24 is up and running. People are going. They probably drove a bunch of traffic there. It's actually brilliant. He's great at marketing, but he infiltrates everyone. Everybody is just so desperate for this type of attention and this type of like gossip that Milo has been able to literally infiltrate every level of the Republican Party. David's a lefty. Can we bring back celebrity boxing and have like a politician edition? There was a creator that was trying to set up like, I think it was like called Creator Fights or something. I thought it was a debate, and so I messaged him. I can't remember who I said I would debate, and he's like, oh no, this is like an actual fight. I was like, oh, never mind. I'm out. I'm gonna be 40 in a year. I'm out. I'm not doing fights. Let's see. Did I get through the MAGA makeover? All right, now here is the story. So past all this stuff with Milo, we go back to Lara Loomer. Lara Loomer has now positioned herself to the point where for the debate against Kamala, she's there. She did debate prep with Donald Trump, which is crazy. Like that, the lady that was like also credibly accused of sexual assault like multiple times. That crazy lady was doing debate prep with Trump and was on the airplane. And if you remember, on September 11th, Trump was down in New York. Biden was there. Kamala was there. And by Trump's side was Lara Loomer. He took her to the 9/11 memorial. That's how ingrained she was to the group. They brought literally a Holocaust denier, a white nationalist, a schmatzi, all of that. Just brought her to the 9/11. Like, this is good optics. We're just going to have them. But here's what has been reported as how Donald Trump's team dropped her. Because remember, she was going everywhere with them, and then all of a sudden she was gone. All of a sudden you didn't see her anywhere. There were a lot of people that were like, oh, she was pregnant, which was probably not true, but it was silly. This is from Richard Hanania. I don't know what story this was from. In all fairness, I didn't fact check this one. But as the night unfolded, with Loomer watching the debate backstage and then joining other GOP surrogates in the spin room, campaign leaders weighed their next move. Yanking her from the plane risked turning the story into something bigger and messier. A jilted Loomer lashing out against corrupt rhino deep state simps in the aftermath of Trump's despicable, miserable debate performance. Wiles decided that Trump's special guest would remain on the manifest for the duration of the itinerary. The only problem, they were headed straight from Philadelphia to New York City for a memorial ceremony the next morning honoring the victims of 9/11, which Loomer naturally had described as an inside job. After cameras showed Loomer standing near Trump at Ground Zero, the former president's own phone lit up. For the rest of the day, friends and associates and donors dialed his number with a manic urgency. Some read him old tweets that Loomer had sent. Others demanded that whoever let this woman aboard the plane be fired. Senator Lindsey Graham asked Trump... Oh, shit. Let me keep the puzzle piece. We were just rolling. I feel like TikTok did that on purpose. Senator Lindsey Graham asked Trump if he was trying to lose the election. To all of this, Trump pleaded ignorance. He began complaining to aides that nobody had ever explained to him specifically why Loomer was so toxic. They responded by pulling up Loomer's most incendiary posts and showing them to the boss. Trump winced at some and seemed unaffected by others, but he agreed by the end of the trip that Loomer needed to go. What sealed Loomer's fate, according to two people who were part of those conversations, wasn't just her racist diatribes, but also her appearance. Trump, who was generally appalled by plastic surgery, was disgusted to learn about the apparent extent of Loomer's facial alterations. When asked for comment, Chung told me Lara was a hard worker in the primaries, and the president appreciates a fighter. What do you have to say about Trump getting rid of her, and part of the reason being her face? She was a very hard worker, and I like fighters. Oof. That is not a denial. That's not even close to a denial. And it also shows like just how dysfunctional this campaign was, which honestly, like that's probably how you get Trump's best performance, though, is just in chaos. Amanda says, speaking of blowing back, you can blow me out, blow me out, and that'll take care of your dry mouth. What? I think that'll exacerbate the problem, Amanda. The key, dry mouth is not fixed by vigorous exercise and injuries. It sounds like some sort of back injury. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Okay, back. I think we're almost done on this. Now this is something that Trump, I think Trump Jr. I don't remember who it was. Somebody adjacent to Trump had retweeted this, but this is what Loomer said. She hates Ron DeSantis, by the way. She really, really fucking hates Ron DeSantis, like more than anything in the world. And it's just because Ron DeSantis like ran against Trump and said mean things. Like she loves Trump so much that she hates Ron DeSantis. She tweeted this: DeSantis supporters say you aren't allowed to criticize Jill DeSantis because she claims she had cancer. I've never seen the medical records, but they have no problem attacking Melania Trump. Personally, I think Jill's health has been over-exaggerated in a desperate effort to get votes for DeSantis. They even used it in a 2022 campaign commercial, which is very tacky. They don't. The thing that I like about Lara Loomer is she's all about class. She doesn't like things that are tacky. She's very classy. They are welcome to release the medical records, though to show that they aren't exaggerating, especially since they want to use her as a campaign surrogate and cancer as a way to appeal to voters. Yeah, this MAGA is right. This is what's going to happen. Listen, I think we amplify MAGA on MAGA crime. We don't have to add any commentary to it. We can just read it. That's what's great about this. It's what they did. That's what they did to us. We can do it without. We don't have to lie. We can just read the stuff they're saying. Imagine sitting like having to defend this. You notice the box is empty today? If I was doing a topic right now, like if I put whatever, if I put like maybe take one of Parker's, like if I did as being gay immoral, or are trans women, or should we deport like the box would be full. But when we hold up a mirror, they're like, we're not. We're uncomfortable when the mirror is held up in front of our face. You can't say my wife is part of my campaign and then also say you aren't allowed to criticize her because she had cancer. What? Well, I think what they're saying is you're criticizing her because you said she didn't have cancer. We got a cancer denier, a Holocaust denier, a 9/11 denier, and she's riding on the plane with Trump doing debate prep. Show me anybody ever in the history of politics that had a worse backstory that did debate prep for a candidate in anything, really. Like I'd include like high school debate classes. I don't know if I don't know if there's anybody worse. Bless you. I want to do debate prep on a plane. All right. Cool. Got those. Okay. Unprecedented. That's right. She's prolific. She's unprecedented. She sucks. Did I get all of that? Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to show you actually earlier. I did find this. This is Goebbels and Stephen Miller. We can draw our own conclusions there. That's remarkably close. If you guys have your phone, turn them to landscape mode. It's pretty crazy. Except for it looks like something's happened with the hair. We used to have better hair then. Yeah, is that not the same guy? You got the thin parsed lips, same facial shape. Yeah. Weird, right? This is the part, like if we were Republican, we'd be like, this is God giving us a sign, or cueing God or whatever. And we'd call that a sign and we'd run with the conspiracy. But that's pretty wild. It kind of fucked, honestly, when I saw it, it kind of messed with me a little bit. I was like, uh-oh. Is reincarnation real? Holy shit. I thought that would take longer. That's all I got. We're gonna have to figure something else out. That was the whole thing. I severely listen. I did that research. That took me 6 hours, and it did not take that much time to get through. What should we do? We can browse. We could set up a debate topic. What should we do? So I'm out of time. What was the surprise? There was no surprise. I just said tune in today. I wanted you guys to hear the gossip. Look up Walmart and click news. Uh-oh. That's not good. Hi, Jen.
Sorry, I got a phone call. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You spent 6 hours and only made, what is it, hour and a half?
I overestimated my endurance.
I guess. So we have less time to hit our gift goal. So.
Or more.
I mean, what are we gonna do? What are you gonna talk about?
I don't know. We can do Ask Me Anythings. We could do an AMA.
Ask you anything? You know that.
Oh, there's Drag Off? No. This is my least favorite Cam character. That one needs to go.
Because he's not direct with some of it.
What's that?
You want it to be straight on. Debate you. People have to join the request guys to debate. If no one requests, there's no one to debate.
I think people want to do an Ask Me Anything for you.
For me?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care. I have no shame.
You would tell the truth? You think you would tell the truth on an Ask Me Anything?
Just about, yeah.
What Big Boat said, thoughts on Elon Musk buying MSNBC? It would be another bad investment. It would be back-to-back pretty shitty investments by Elon.
It's a little fascist, don't you think? Having the right.
No, of course it is at this point. At this point, he just anybody who speaks out against him, he's just going to try and run them over with money. God bless America that we've got a country where you can get so powerful that if people speak out against you, you can just buy their company. It's great. It's so good for free speech. It's so good for democracy. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah. I don't like this one. So this layout, you can't choose like the number of boxes or anything. This is it. Is it a fixed layout?
Yeah, when it's
landscape?
on horizontal or what landscape, I mean. Yeah.
I think when I looked at this is why we hadn't done it before, because you can't adjust.
Can't get rid of them, sorry. Zach says, Jesus came again. I bet I could make you too. It was 3 days later, dude. That was 3 days. Anybody could do that with 3 days rest. It's not that impressive, honestly.
I mean, things that didn't happen for 1,000.
Why didn't Kamala investigate the election results? There's no way this is legit. Well, if anybody has evidence that it's not legit, we'll listen to it. What happened to Big Boat? Big Boat's not going to come up. He doesn't do that anymore. Rich, just not doing friendlies. Ludi. I don't know if that's friendly or not. Ludi, what's up? Ludi.
Ludi doesn't know they're here.
Don't pee. There we go. I have risen in an hour. Is that impressive? I didn't know what I was reading before that. If I requested it was an accident. No, that wasn't you, Kelsey. I don't think. Terry says, talk about the judges President Biden has appointed. They thought he was sleeping. Yeah, I mean, they're getting a bunch of judges pushed through at the end. That's what you do. It's what it's not unprecedented. This is how every presidency ends. Is just trying to pack judges. Trump did it. I think I counted Trump's last week. Biden had done like 8 at the time, and Trump between the election and the end of his term did something like 30. So it's not unusual.
I read somewhere that that Biden has exceeded the number of appointments that Trump did.
It could be at this point, but yeah, I mean that has to do with openings, and they had the negotiation about the appellate judges, which right-wing media all said that it was like a 4-for-4 trade. That doesn't seem to be the case. There's only 2 open seats. They still have to pass. I think they still have to. They said that they won't let those pass, and then the other 2 may not be open. So potentially 4 open seats, but they made a deal to get some of these judges passed. It was basically like a 4-for-2 with 2 future potential picks. That was the trade. A good deal for the Democrats.
Was there something that because Trump invited however many senators or whoever it was to go watch Musk's failed launch, that a bunch of people didn't show up, so they were able to appoint more judges because the other people weren't there to disagree.
Did that happen? I didn't know that.
I heard some. Yeah, I read something in passing that Elon, when he had his launch, that he invited a bunch of people there, so they were able to confirm.
Somebody just sent me RJS. I don't know who RJS is. Do you know who that would be?
On TikTok?
No, it's an email to Trump, and it says RJS. Em sent this to me in chat. Actually, I'll just put it up here so you guys can see it. Saying, it says, as we discussed over the phone, when it's to Trump from RJS, also CC'd Susie Wiles, Chris Lacavita, Jason Miller, and Dan Scavino. I don't know what this is, but as we discussed over the phone when reelected, I believe you need to address the sticky issue of the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms by our opponents and enemies. We can get around the gun issue with our base by promising a fix in early 2025 that won't affect patriots. This fix could include a new licensing program that would ensure our enemies can't get guns, empowering the FBI and local law enforcement with the right to confiscate guns of anyone deemed to be an enemy of the state. We can decide the parameters that would determine what actually is an enemy later so the base doesn't flip out. I don't know who this is. I mean, that's Stone? Oh, shit. I don't know the authenticity on this.
I just Googled RJS letter to Trump, and a bunch of stuff comes up.
Is anybody credible reporting on it?
So I see something from NPR talking about prosecutors. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. There is NPR, and I'm looking for current dates. There's a letter an open letter to Trump. Oh, that one's missing RJS. So it's letter to Trump from RJS.
I don't know. This is an interesting one.
Everything I'm seeing is taking out RJS.
Is it giving you Roger Stone though? I don't see it either. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this one.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. The only thing that
Within 24 hours, the majority of them.
regular Joe show, Joe discusses the letter that Trump wrote. Yeah, to me, this is a podcast or something. Yeah, I don't see anything with RJS. I mean, if anybody has anything in Discord or whatever, they want to. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, I don't see anything either. Let me go. There we are. Current news. There's a bunch of people put stories in. What is this? This was from this morning. Top Trump aide accused of asking for money to promote potential appoint Boris Epstein. Do you guys remember that Boris Epstein also has like a sexual assault charge from, or I don't know. Actually, I don't think he got assault. It was disorderly conduct. He was down here in Scottsdale and he would not stop like sexually harassing these women in a bar. And I think he wound up having to pay a settlement. But what did he say? Their legal team found evidence that a top advisor asked for retainer fees from potential appointees in order to promote them for jobs. Oh, he was taking finder fees? Whoa. Yeah. There you go, Swamp. There you go. The grift never ends. They're just like, I'm gonna take fees for appointments. And actually, Trump's not even getting it. Uh-oh. They're starting to steal from Dear Leader. Guys, I think the writing's on the wall for a lot of these Republicans. However long there is to go, like there's not that many years left of Trump. And when he's gone, you're probably safe from backlash. So why not? Why not make that money now?
So there's and I heard about this not too long ago. So I guess Governor Newsom announced that if Trump and the Trump administration doesn't pull back on removing the tax credits for EVs, that California would exclude Tesla from the credits, the EV credits in California.
Yeah, that they would make their own and then, but not include Tesla.
And I guess like Tesla is like 50-something%.
That's fair. Who were we talking to yesterday that was like, we should get rid of the EV? It's okay that Elon built his fortune off of those EV credits and that we're not going to give them to other people now. I think that's fair. Everybody but Elon gets them for the next decade. Yeah. We'll trade off. Now they all get them.
Well, I think part of it, I mean, a lot of it is why Musk is doing that or wanting to do that is so he corners all the market.
Yeah.
So wants to cut everybody out.
Courtney and Ash, did you invite Ash up for something?
I didn't.
Courtney, not sure. Courtney, I don't know if you're friendly.
Have you updated the gift goal amount?
Oh, let me look at it real quick. Guys, you can try and farm debates. I'll just hang out until 1. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. You think? Your voice doing okay?
Is my voice going?
You still have your voice?
It's on its way. It's on its way out. Haley says the FBI is looking for your dick. Can you hide it in me? Thanks, Haley. No. All right. What we could do? Who's in the box?
Boston has some stuff about Tariffs on this stream.
Yeah. Bring it up.
It's weird when there's people in the box, or when I'm in the box, it makes things. I mean, obviously with all these, I have to Google and see how to change. There's got to be a way to remove some of these.
Hey,
boxes are.
Oh, that profile picture's rough.
I like it when I go in conservative lives because it looks like
you were in Millie's last night.
You got that bump.
I'm like, hey, Jay, I think Swish is asking for you to read their Cash App.
Didn't I just read that?
I don't know.
Oh, no. Let's watch the movie Saw, Loomer's debut role. She was great in Saw. She was excellent in that. It's not nice, guys. We shouldn't do that. Okay, what do you have? You have something cool.
Well, I can just talk a little bit because my company is going to be uniquely or strongly impacted by the tariffs. So I thought I might share a little bit about what's happening on the ground, because we've been watching and we're a manufacturer. The products we produce, all of the raw materials almost exclusively have to come from outside the country. And then we have...
Is that for cost or is that just because that's where you can get them?
That's because we are in food manufacturing and our inputs can only be grown in certain tropical climates.
Gotcha.
So think about like your citrus fruits, your coffee, or your cocoa, all of that cannot be produced anywhere in the continental US. It has to come from, only Hawaii really has the right climate to grow a lot of that stuff. Florida for some of your citrus fruits. I spoke with someone in my industry that works for, I think, Tropicana, and they get most of their oranges from, I think, Brazil.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, avocados come almost exclusively from Mexico. Tomatoes come majority from Mexico. So this is a big problem. And we have, like a lot of companies, we have manufacturing in Canada and Mexico. Mexico, because there's laws in place that make it very favorable to manufacture there and then bring it back into the US. And Canada, because the other thing that's really interesting is that the US has this very protective sugar market. So if you heard RFK talking about, I think this is a real quote that
is
he
that
wants.
Because of sugar, like sugar beets, or is that sugar cane?
Well, we can produce sugar cane and sugar beets depending on the region, but the US sugar producers are, I mean, I don't think it's wrong to say this, but I've always equated them to like sort of a little cartel. I mean, they are incredibly aggressive with their lobbying and super protective. So
I lived in Moses Lake, Washington, and legitimately, if anything ever goes wrong with sugar beets, like the whole town is fucked. Like that, it's like most of their economy in Moses Lake.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a huge market. I think we're the 5th largest producer of sugar in the world, but we have massive import quotas that we put in place and huge tariffs. So I don't know if you saw that RFK was talking about making soda producers use real sugar instead of corn syrup.
Yeah.
Well, the reason they moved to corn syrup was because this all started in the 80s. And it was too expensive to buy sugar under the protective measures they put in place. And they've been doing this since the 80s up until now. All parties, all presidents, I think every administration has put additional measures in place. So we already saw the effects of tariffs on soda and other sugar, containing products.
Wait, but why did we put protections on sugar? Like, why was this? I don't understand what the protections were for, I guess.
So it's mainly because Mexico and other non-US, I mean, they can produce sugar too. And like I said, they just happen to be a very strong lobbying group. I don't know all the history, but they are traditionally extremely corrupt. If you look into like the harvesting of sugar in the old days, like a lot of agricultural products, it is like massively harmful. I mean,
so you're talking about tariffs, protective tariffs then?
Yeah.
Okay,
tariffs,
that's where I was confused. Sorry, I didn't know you were talking about tariffs. That's where I was confused.
Oh yeah. So okay. Tariffs and quotas. So you can only import so much sugar into the US before you get like massive fines and like upcharges on it.
Yeah.
So what my company does is we make extremely high content sugar products in Canada, because you can buy off of the world sugar market in Canada. And then we got a ruling that says, yeah, this is as high of a content of sugar you can have while still calling it something else.
Okay.
And then we import it in as this other confectionery product instead. And that's how we get around the tariffs. And then we, yeah.
Well, I had a question about that though. Isn't this impacted by the trade deal that Trump signed before he left office? Like, I'm wondering.
USMCA?
Yeah, I know. Maybe I don't understand the tariff. I thought that in the USMCA, is that what it is? Did I get that right?
USMCA.
MCA. Oh, I just put me in there. That's mine. I put my own name in there. What was I? Oh yeah, I thought you couldn't do tariffs. I thought we couldn't tariff their goods.
I'll have to look it up, but I think it still allows, like, there's still exceptions within it, because the USMCA is just NAFTA with like 3 changes in it, a handful.
Yeah.
It's not that different. So they can carve out anything they want to. And to be fair, Mexico also has a hugely protective sugar market itself. They have I could go for hours. It's really weird, but in any case, I think they negotiated specific provisions for sugar.
Okay, interesting. So what are companies like yours preparing to do? Like, I guess they're taking this seriously, that they think these tariffs are coming? Because a lot of Republicans are saying it's just a negotiating tactic. It's just so, and maybe, and honestly, not a bad negotiating tactic, probably. If it is, I would be kind of okay with it. But if it's not, why are you guys just preparing because you think like maybe this will happen, or is this something that people think is real?
I mean, here's the thing. It's just hard, right? We really don't know. It's unpredictable. So one of the things that my company is doing is looking at just importing a bunch of products that would be subject to tariffs early, like in January, before anything's placed on. But that's just a short-term fix, right? The next step is increasing prices. Most food producers are making a cost plus. So it means whatever it costs us to make, we add on plus 5% to sell on.
Is that standard, like plus 5? Is that pretty standard in?
It depends. It's always very low for sugar producers, but like if you talk about your average product on the food market, it could be 5%. If you're thinking of a premium item, it could go up to 10 or 15 as a margin.
Okay.
It's really dependent, but most products, if they're not with that premium label, are going to be a low margin. Not something, I mean, none of those can sustain a 25% tariff.
Right. So what are you guys doing to plan?
I mean, it's going to be price increases. So if we can import as much as we can ahead of time in anticipation of the tariffs, right? And try and cover ourselves for a few months, and then we jack up prices. There's nothing else you can do.
But aren't you probably going to jack up prices anyways? Aren't the owners going to say like, oh, we have the opportunity to raise prices, we might as well?
Well, maybe not in mind. And particularly for our market, we've already been increasing prices. And the reality is, if you look at a lot of food producers, because of the inflation, a lot of them have maxed out on what they're able to push to a consumer already.
Yeah,
so
fertilizer is like a real problem, right? Like for a lot of American farmers, like they can't, the fertilizer is too expensive.
That could be true. I'm not as familiar with the fertilizer piece, except I will say a lot of fertilizer came from Ukraine. Also sunflower oil, which is used in a lot of foods as well. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was reading. I know I was reading something about that, and then as well as like how the farmers are getting stiff. John Deere doesn't let you repair their tractors; they have to do it, and it costs. Anyways, I had a weird deep dive on that stuff this weekend, and that was one of the things that I remember them saying is that the fertilizer had gotten so much more expensive.
Yeah, I believe it. I'm certain it's driven by the conflict or the war in Ukraine, for sure. And maybe climate change.
Thanks, Zelensky, as Joe Rogan would say. That's all Zelensky's fault.
Right. But yeah, no, a lot of these food producers, you can look up like Kellogg, Mondelez, Kraft Heinz, Tyson, they've all really maxed out their ability to pass this burden on to the consumer. So the next thing for these companies is if they raise prices, they're going to take on demand destruction. People just won't be able to buy as much.
Oh, are you saying this? Are you saying you're selling me on it a little bit? Tyson Foods going down? Now you're kind of selling me on anarchy. I like some of
their frozen. Yeah. I like their frozen chicken fingers.
Yeah, okay, well, maybe they just only do that. It's frozen chicken fingers.
But I mean, for your average person, like Tyson might be one of the only brands you can afford. Like we're not depending on what you're buying, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if chicken nugget, I mean, it's always the cheapest and the best labeling too. I think they're terrible, but
Yeah. And think about this as well. It's not just your major food producers, like that's what I'm mentioning because they're known names, but all of your private label, like the off-brand Signature and I don't know, all the other
Kirkland Signature.
Yeah, they're all going to the same food producers. Like my company, we sell the same chocolate to private label that we sell to, I mean, there's formula changes maybe, but we're the ones selling. So if we mark up our prices, it's everything on the shelf.
So what's your gut instinct on what happens here? Just based on I guess maybe based on what you're seeing plus what you've seen in the past. Because I just think it's too unpopular for him to do it.
It's super unpopular, but look at what he's tagging it against, right? He's saying, hey, do this and I'll reduce the tariffs. What's he asking for? Canada to control their immigration?
Yeah.
What does that mean? We've not heard anything about the northern border, at all.
No, the geese.
Oh.
It's the fucking geese. They're everywhere.
I'll help
the
with
real
that.
invasion.
Yeah.
They're mean as shit.
I mean, I grew up in Metro Detroit. I can tell you right now, there were not a lot of Canadians crossing through Windsor. It wasn't a thing. They went back after lunch.
Migrant caravans. Migrant caribou, I think, is what it was.
Yes.
You just invaded your head.
I saw that. I think technically I agree.
I sent you 2 articles. I know you're not looking at Discord, but I texted them to you too.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to get my messages back up, but let me read some comments. Ashley says, "What did one boat say to the other?" This is up your alley, Blossom.
Oh, I don't know.
Interested in a little romance? See, I knew that was right up your alley. I knew it.
I love it.
Well, you can't say bad things when she's up here. You missed one of my messages also since you lowered your voice on one. Enjoy this one. I said you can eat me and then let me taste. No, I read that. I definitely remember reading that. Thank you, Bree. And just for that.
These guys for TP. Should be better than a cherry. Breeze trying to fuck RTP. Breeze trying to fuck RTP.
There we go. There's one more. If you're worried about sugar imports, I literally have all the sugar you need. That's sweet. I like that one. That one's sweet. And Walter says, I can't lie. Sometimes I get jealous when you yell at some of the MAGA guests. Sort of wish it was me, but FYI, I can be a bit of a brat sometimes. So if you want your comeback, you'll have to scrape it from the back of my teeth. My God. Did not see that coming. All right. What were you saying, Blossom, about tariffs?
I don't know if we can recover.
Oh, God. I wasn't ready for that one. That was tough.
Why did the male chicken wear underwear on its head?
I don't know.
Because its pecker was on its face.
Stupid. That's so stupid. All right.
I don't know. It's funny.
All right, I'm going to drop down. I got to finish some work. Do
Thank
some
you.
trade.
Thank you. Walter, that was a great joke. Thick Filet, also a great name. There's people in the box. If anybody's opposition, you're welcome to come up. I see Janet, Jesse, Mark, No Name, That Damn Todd, Craig Arlt, and Courtney Wilson. So
if you guys are opposition, put it in the comments.
Y'all ran Blossom off. She had to go pray. That's what she did.
So I sent you an article about Mexico suggesting it imposes its own tariffs to retaliate against Trump's tariffs. That's from today. And then also Biden.
Oh, Biden's Rivian. Those are great. I don't know if you've seen those Rivian electric cars. They're amazing.
To loan them $6.6 billion for the Georgia factory.
Yeah, so this is the story that I think, like, weirdly, I think maybe this is why that story came out today, where the president of Mexico said that she was going to stop the migrant caravans. I think it's because it came out on the same day as this story that she said, like, we'll just retaliate. And I think they kind of wanted to bury that story or at least create, like, a second narrative. It was all pushed by the same people. Free drag off. Free no. How about that? All right. Let me go through the box. Guys, if you're not opposition though, just taking ops right now. Mark. David. That was close.
Reading the Bible, Mark and David.
Yeah. I've been rethinking my relationship with Jesus, so that's good. CFC Dig. No, there we go.
Yeah.
Hey. CFC. Goodbye. I think they're all Courtney. Oh, I got you, Courtney. Thank you. Craig and Janet. That's what we've got left in the box. No go there for Craig. I can't remember. Is Alibi friendly or not? I can't remember. Who's Alibi? 65.
I don't see them on my.
They probably blocked you.
Account.
Janet. That's probably a hard no. Alibi. We got. Is it just because it's in your pocket? Does it request? What's up, Alibi?
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to come up.
That's all right. See you later.
I sent you a Discord Breeze comment that you said you didn't read.
Great. Good. That's what we need.
I'm helping.
For AMA, when are you going to give me that peen? We didn't agree on AMA. We didn't agree on that.
What's AMA?
An AMA, I feel like an AMA is worth $2 a question. Or
$50.
Or $50 a question.
I think at some point, having some kind, yeah. Because we do have to, the point of the show is to keep it going every day. And that's where we have to grift to keep the show going. So, because it does
this one's entirely my fault. Because I thought I had so much information. All right, fine. What do you want? Drag off. Hello.
You don't like edging, huh?
Jesus, what do you want?
I was just edging you. I was just trying to. That was the whole point. That was the whole point. Not letting you out because you knew it was coming, so I had to not make it come.
Did you see that coming? Drag off? Bet you didn't.
Cam's you just caused drama.
No, I'm not letting it back up. Moni, this one looks accidental too. People that are smiling in their profile picture are usually not opposition.
I wonder
all right, well, let's...
I see what it is. I see what the issue is. With this layout, if people want to like the live, usually you can tap the top, but with all these requests...
yeah. That makes sense.
I have my other account to let myself in the box so I just touched one of them and it sent a request. That's why.
Okay, that makes more sense.
That's how. So it's
get out of here, drag off. There's Vicky. All right. Well, what do we want to do? We can cover more news stories. We can just raid somebody. This is entirely on me. I thought there's no way I did that much research and won't have enough to say. Maybe I was just reading really slow. No. I think that's illegal if I answer your question. Pretty sure.
So, do you have any opinions on Trump not signing the ethics agreement? Have you looked into that at all?
Is that the ethics agreement, the one for the transition team?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Look, Epstein. We just read here. Epstein's taking money. I'm sure Trump's also taking money for cabinet positions. How else do you explain Linda McMahon as education secretary? How do you explain any of these other than they gave him money?
Yeah, it's obviously the laws don't apply to him.
Yeah,
clearly.
And they figured out long ago how to live off of that money. How to use PACs to fund his lifestyle. This is just his way to keep grifting, and he'll grift the whole time he's president, and then he won't be alive anymore, and he'll never pay the consequences.
Sign it last time?
What's that?
Did he sign the ethics agreement before he joined
Yeah,
last time?
yeah, he did it last time. I'm trying to remember. They used like 2.5 million out of there was like I think it was like 5 million available. Gabriel says, Daddy J, I was just asking to be filled like a Pop-Tart, but I'll set her for being a toaster strudel. All right.
What's the math?
Jumar says Jen just said she was touching the box sister wives. I don't know what that means. That was poorly constructed there on that one, Jumar. I don't know what that meant. I'll do the math. You do your announcements.
You want to hear something funny? Well, it's not really funny. It's really kind of obnoxious.
Yes.
Since I'm, the only parent in my household, I try to fix things. So my washer wasn't working. I had an error to the drain issue. So
A what in the drain issue?
With my washing machine, like to wash clothes.
Yeah, but what was the issue? You had
it wasn't draining.
Oh, it wasn't draining. Okay, gotcha.
It wasn't draining, so there's
That's bad.
code on the front. It is, yeah.
For all of you non-washers out there.
Yeah, so I found a thing on YouTube on how to take this part off to see if there's something stuck in this drain catch or whatever. I didn't watch the entire YouTube or didn't pay attention, and it was like 10 o'clock, 10:30. I take Ambien to sleep. Fun fact, too.
Right.
So,
that is fun. Thanks, Jeff. Can you tell us the rest of your prescription medications that you take? That'd be great.
Ambien and Adderall, that's it. I have to go. I have to be able to something to help me stay asleep and something to wake me up.
Oh, good.
So, no in between. But so I go to unhook this one thing, and I didn't realize how much water would come out, and it was like my entire laundry room went underwater at like 11 o'clock at night when I was chasing.
So now you have an
Ambien.
indoor pool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I have to have someone come and fix it because it wasn't working. So yeah, I had to deal with that.
Maybe how far are you away from HVAC?
I think probably like 8 or 9 hours.
How far from Chris?
Probably East Coast to West Coast, a lot further.
Well, but he could just fly. Chris, are you here? Chris, how long would it take you to get to Jen's house?
Chris's girlfriend wouldn't appreciate that.
There he is. How long is it, Chris? What about Drag Off? What about Drag Off? We're done with Drag Off. Drag Off is my least favorite of those characters so far. It's by far my least favorite.
I'm in NorCal, Chris. Yeah. Someone says, I imagine Jen sleeps upside down in a coffin.
Can we raid funds for new machine? I don't know what that means.
I think raise.
HTTP will slid into your DM. Oh, that's got to be like an older millennial stand. You can come up, Reverse. You want to talk about it?
You've been fighting with OM. I washed my hands with that.
I know. I sent him a message this morning. I was very kind and respectful. He's still a little upset that I mentioned that. It did exactly what I thought it was going to do. I just didn't know it was going to last for a few days. Wasn't sure.
I mean, he was all pissy. Same with Michael, older millennial, or all the different accounts. Did I tell you I made a list for all of Text 45's accounts?
No, that's an exhaustive list. I actually don't feel great about making that joke, but I feel validated that I got the response. Like, I'm not proud of it, but I'm also like, but I did a great job with it. I did do that.
I was not thrilled when you were in there. I'm inspired because.
Well, I was supposed to debate Millie. This is the thing. If I was Millie, I'd be so annoyed at conservative men. I'd be like, every time I try and have a debate, I got a bunch of conservative men talking over me. That's just how I would feel if I was a conservative woman. I'd get really tired of being steamrolled every time I tried to have a debate. But that's just me.
So I have the list that I have for text. There's 12 12 names that I have currently, and I know there's more.
Well, I think that one might have been him too. OM as a DUI hire. That's not nice, guys. That's not nice. Shouldn't say things like that. Let's see. Kenneth. What's up, Kenneth? Maybe not. Mega. Sherry.
It has to do with
I
the
think so
layout.
too.
It's exactly it.
Hey, Sherry.
Except for this other person that I see in the box. I know they're not on accent.
All right, this is my second least favorite character. Hi, Cam.
Hey, I was came up to give you a little joke.
I'm ready.
You might have heard this before. Why did the jizz cross the road?
I don't know.
Because I wore the wrong socks today.
Oh, dude. Get out of here. Disgusting. Are you clearing that box? We want Draga. Why do you guys like thumbs up if Dragoff is a good character. Thumbs down if you don't think it's a good. I think it's his worst character. Got them crispy socks.
The accents evolve with that character. It's like it starts out with Russian and then ends up going a little bit more.
It's like Jamaican by the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's tough. I have a friend whose accent always winds up like they'll wherever it starts, it ends Jamaican every single time.
My husband did that. He had he used to be able to do all kinds of different accents, and then eventually he started pretending to do a Russian accent. And so whenever he would try to do another one, it always went to Russian, like always evolved to Russian. He couldn't go and do any other accent once he started doing Russian accents.
That would be. I have a lot of friends who, when they went on Mormon missions, they would go to these other countries, and it was so annoying. They would come back with like with an accent from the other country. It's like, bro, you did 2 years there, you did 18 here, and then they would do this. It was so fucking annoying. They'd be like, what's the word for and they'd what's the word for cheese in Spanish? I don't know. Let's choose blue. I know that one. I think that's azul. What's the word? Azul, like the sky is azul. It's like, blue. You fucking liar.
Okay, we're chilling. Here we go. Bam. Bam. And there. And there. Okay, we're back. Doc? No, because it wouldn't have been him because my stream didn't say that it was disconnecting. So it wouldn't have been that then. I don't know what happened. But I don't think it was him. What game is this? Game is called Only Up, Toby.
How far away is he from the end?
I guess, yeah. Because it would have showed, because when the streams do disconnect, it says live disconnected. I think that was just coincidence. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Is TikTok acting up today? My freaking Wi-Fi is, bro. It's my Wi-Fi. I have bad Wi-Fi, chat. I have really bad Wi-Fi. Streaming fun for you? Streaming is definitely fun for me. TM, you're not lying, bro. You're not freaking lying. I get like 2 megabytes a second, bro. It's so bad. It is so bad. TK, thank you so much for the Fez burst. I appreciate that. Okay, guys, hold on. Hey, to be fair, yeah, I need to get a new router. Router is freaking cooked, dude.
Yeah, she did it, not the bean. The bean always works. It usually will break me. Let's go through Sherry and Ronald. I assume you guys accidentally requested. Hi, Sherry. Protein loads for G in the comments. Hi, Sherry.
Oh shit. Sorry.
That is funny when people have no idea they joined.
Yeah, Sherry wins the day. I needed that. That was a good palate cleanser. All right. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll do. Maybe we'll end early today, and I'll do. We'll do some evening ones this week.
You know what? You need to make a list. Like you either a spreadsheet where you just put in the totals and just add.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely gonna do a spreadsheet.
I've tried.
For
It's
sure.
not hot. I swear to God. You just put in the numbers as they go.
No, remember we talked about this yesterday. Let's not fight in front of the folks. I told you this yesterday. After the new year, we've got a plan.
They like the disagreements. What's the gift goal? What is it at currently?
I'm working on it. But that's fine. Let's do some night ones. We'll do some debate stuff this week. Let's see. There we go. We'll do some debate stuff. I don't want to sit here and ask people to send money.
Yeah, I was just asking you to update the goal. That's all.
Yeah, we could do
job.
RTP after dark one of these days. But we might have to go on like a backup account though, because I don't trust a lot of you. Insulator, what did you have? Spread it everywhere. Insulator, what's up?
Hey, how's it going? It's your favorite Tyler. Canadian Tyler.
Oh, hey.
You're gonna behave yourself, Canadian
Just
Tyler.
freezing up here in Edmonton,
Good.
minus 20, global warming's real, Anyways,
that joke killed in like 2001. That was a killer joke 20 years ago.
Well, humor's subjective, obviously. To be fair, the left and the right are going to find things that are politically orientated in regards to humor very differently. Like, oh, come on, you can't deny that. Like, the left and the right completely think that total different comedians on total polar opposite ends of the spectrum are like the most hilarious in the world, right?
Who
like,
do you
we would
think's
never
the
agree
funniest
on
comedian in the world?
It's hard to say. I was just generally saying. I
think most people actually agree on who's the best. I think it's the people on the fringes that we disagree with. Like, most people think Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, Shane Gillis, what's Nikki Glaser. Like, a lot of people are saying like those are some of the best comedians.
Yeah, I would actually agree with that.
There you go. It's just
Shane Gillis, for example, you're accepting of like all like his entire comedic like act and like everything. Like, you don't find anything wrong with it?
Yeah, I have a different view on comedy. Like, I think that comedy is difficult. We played an Anthony Jeselnik clip the other day where Anthony Jeselnik was basically like, comedy is what you can get away with. And if society doesn't let you get away with that joke, it wasn't a very good joke. Like, you have to operate, like comedy, you have to operate within the structure of your society. And if you're operating outside of that, then people are gonna not want. They're not gonna think it's funny. So I just think you've got. If you're gonna make really, if you're gonna take big chances, it better be funny.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't walk around acting as if I'm like hilarious or comedic or whatnot. I didn't expect that joke to land very well. It's just, it is what it is. I'm freezing up here,
I hear you.
I'm working in an uninsulated, unheated house, and obviously global warming, we disagree on many things, so that's why I felt the need to say that.
Your
and
name is
another
Insulator.
fact.
I like that. Ironically.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do for work. This used to be like one of my channels for like work videos and stuff, but I just scrapped that all. I'm terrible at content.
All right.
You're way better than me on that. Anyways, I was going to actually bring up Trump's cabinet, for example, because I know you and I had a debate previously in regards to the women in his cabinet. and how you were trying to basically say his previous administration was like one of the points to make it fascist was its misogyny towards women. I just wanted to ask you about Trump's current cabinet now. Do you still have the same stance?
I don't think that ever was my stance.
Well, we were going through the points of fascism, and one of the points that you were trying to justify is the percentage of women that make up his administration.
I doubt that's what I was saying, but yeah, it's more about the ideology. Like I don't look at these the women that are I don't look at the women that he's put on his team as women who reflect the majority view of other women. They all have a very minority view when it comes to women. Like he's like, I'm going to pick women, but only if they agree with me. I don't think that's very strong.
Yeah, I think you phrasing it in that sense. I think you could make the case for anyone. People are going to appoint and choose their teammates in regards to the ones that agree with them and are somewhat loyal to them, of course, because they're trying to push an agenda.
Yeah, they're anti-women.
So you're going to look every Republican woman in the face who agrees on the policies in regards to Trump's and basically look them in the face and tell them that they're anti-women.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You would tell basically upwards of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, like who knows how many million women in the face and say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's ridiculous.
Well,
I think that's ridiculous for a man to stand there and look at a woman just because they disagree with them and tell them that they're anti-women.
Wait, but it's not about disagreement.
How could you tell a woman they're anti-woman, though? They're a woman.
Would you like me to answer that? Or
that seems antithetical to your guys' ideology. Do
you want me to answer it, or you want to just keep going?
Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because the majority of women, for example, don't share the same views as the people Trump's putting up on their cabinet. So if I'm saying that the person that is on Trump's cabinet holds a minority view, by definition, she's anti-woman. She's alienating.
Yeah, this is a fallacy.
She's alienating a majority of the women.
This is what you call a consensus fallacy. I don't know if that's the actual term, but it's a consensus absolutely.
Fallacy. No, it's not.
Yeah, you're basing on what? Yeah, you're basing what is right or wrong just simply based on what the majority is. And we all know that that's a fallacy.
I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm saying statistically, if these women represent a minority view,
is it right or wrong to be anti-woman?
Tyler, excuse me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're talking about morality.
No, I'm not talking about morality. I'm talking about data. I'm talking about percentages. I'm talking about math. If you, if you represent a minority view, then you can't be pro-women.
That just seems to be absolutely ridiculous. What if the majority of women in America thought that women had a lower intelligence than men? What if the majority of women thought that, just hypothetically speaking?
Then if you took the opposite view?
No, I'm just saying, like, what if the majority of women in America hypothetically thought that women's IQs were lower than men's? Would that all of a sudden make them correct?
I'm not saying they're correct. See, this is the part you're missing. I'm talking about representation. So if a majority,
this is horrible.
No, this is easy. We'll use your example.
I know it's very easy. You're having a tough time with it,
Tyler. Shush. This is why you have to come on alt accounts, because like you're incapable of having a discussion.
I don't have to, but
probably. But
this is actually my original account. Funny enough,
let's just have a discussion. So let's say that a majority, let's say 80% of the women believe that women are just better because they have a higher IQ, and then Trump puts somebody in his cabinet who believes the exact opposite of that. Statistically, that person would not be pro-women. It's the same argument. This is a data argument. You're trying to make it about morals. You're trying to match up the morals with yours and figure out a way for you to be a victim. And this is what
I'll try to steel man your
point here. Do is they love to figure out a way.
Hang on, I'll try to steel man your point.
I'm just finishing. Wait till I'm done and you can steel man it. But I think
the point was made.
My point that I'm making is conservatives go out of their way to figure out how they could be the victims all the time. It's basically the entire platform is here's how we can be victims.
No, your point was that if 80% of women thought that they had a higher IQ, was it, or just superior or whatever it was, 80% thought this, and that if someone took the opposite stance, that means that they're anti-woman.
Yes.
That's what you said, right?
Yes.
So for someone to believe in what the actual truth is, even though that it's a minority, they're anti-woman.
Wait, what?
Okay, so obviously it's not the truth that women are more superior in terms of IQ and whatnot. So if 80% of the women thought this, they'd be incorrect though, right?
Jay, can you turn up your mic just a little bit?
I just turned it up.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know.
So what I'm saying is though that 80% of women would technically be incorrect, but you're saying that the 20% who have the correct stance are still anti-woman.
Correct, but
just
they're
because
yes,
they're
but
in the
they're
minority.
right. See, the thing that you keep thinking is that by me saying anti-women,
That's insane.
I'm saying that I think they're wrong. No, that's how this works. If you represent a minority view, you don't represent the group. You represent a minority view. This is dumb. You can be right and hold a minority. You can be right and hold a minority view. But in this case, when I'm arguing with Trump's cabinet, these are women who I don't think have the best interest in women's rights at hand. I think they care far more about their religious beliefs than they care about the rights of others. Their religious beliefs take precedent over the rights of others who don't share their religious beliefs. That's what I think about them.
Okay, fair enough. So my one question would be, what determines if you're anti-woman, and also, like, is there any morality attached to that? Like, is it right or wrong to be anti-woman?
Well, our system's not set up to be a moral system. Our system is set up to reflect the majority.
Oh, no.
Yes.
So laws aren't predicated on morality. Like, bro,
they don't have
you
to be.
actually are beyond
They don't have to be.
incompetent when it comes to these arguments, my friend.
Let me ask you a question.
This is
Let me ask you a question.
incompetent.
Let me ask you a question. Where you live, do you guys have zoning laws?
Yes.
Okay. What morals are those zoning laws based on?
The zoning laws would be based on the morals of basically having regulations in place so that
regulation is a moral.
Higher.
That's a moral. Wanting regulation is a moral argument.
It's not a moral itself.
Oh.
It's predicated on numerous things, with some of those being
what things?
Morals.
What morals?
Right?
What morals?
Yeah, the morals of what is right and what is wrong.
So regulation is right.
So
regulation is right, and
it depends on the regulation.
Oh, so that doesn't sound like
the outcomes it has and the impact.
So it doesn't sound like it's a moral argument. It seems like it's determined by something else.
You can have something not be immoral, but have it predicated on morals.
But what moral was that?
Right?
Yeah, but what morals are the zoning laws predicated on?
Depends on the regulatory policy we're talking about.
Let's pick one. Is there minimum standards for you for insulation? Like in that new
standards,
in new builds, yeah.
Minimum standards, like for my quality, like my workmanship.
I don't know if it's like depth or like the type of material you can use. Are there regulations that you have to fall in line with? What are those regulations? Like, give me an example.
Well, we would have to use a certain R value for the insulation that we use in the houses.
What's R value?
Due to the climate. R value is basically like the thickness of the insulation that you're installing in the exteriors.
Okay.
So basically the morals that would be predicated on the regulations in regard to this is because it's literally wrong to not meet sufficient quality and sufficient standards, because the person who ends up buying the home would end up getting ripped off, which would literally equate to being like stolen from. Like, these things are wrong. That's why the regulation's there. So morals are certainly relevant when we're talking about these things. And if you think otherwise, you are just incompetent.
Do you think we're consistent applying those morals to our laws?
No, obviously not.
That's why I don't care about morals when it comes to laws. I could give a fuck.
Because things aren't consistent, you don't care about them altogether. Makes no sense once again.
Let me finish, please. Thank you. Yeah. So if I'm looking at, like, for example, I think Donald Trump is a dog shit human being. I don't want him to be president. I don't want this cabinet to be put into place. But because of the way our government is set up, the way that voting works, that this is what's going to happen. Now, I think it's immoral. right? But it doesn't matter. My morals don't matter when it comes to an election. So I take morals out of it, and we have to just deal with what the country thinks. So if you are a woman who advocates strict, reduced access to abortions, then you, by definition, don't represent the overwhelming majority of women in this country, and therefore are anti-woman.
You've basically just gish galloped and pivoted the whole way through. I've already debunked your argument 3 times
did so
over.
good.
Like literally.
If you have
started
to,
by
Tyler,
using a consensus argument,
if you have to
and
say
now you've
that,
totally changed your argument 3 times over. You do
instead
understand that, right?
Instead of responding to me, if you have to tell me that you
You're
just
now no
that you
longer-
just won, then I think maybe you don't have a very good argument.
Dude, I literally just dog walked you
So you're
on
doing it
3
again.
different arguments,
If
and
you
now
have
you
to
just
tell the
changed it
people,
again.
if you have to tell the people what happened, is maybe that didn't happen.
You're just basically trying to justify you don't care about morals, yet you're a
Correct.
leftist who moralizes 24/7.
Yeah, I don't
on
care
this
about it. I
platform.
don't
That's
care about
your
individual-
guys' side.
Yeah, I don't care
your
about
guys' are
individual
the
morals.
sides of compassionate moralist.
No.
Propagandists. You guys
Wait,
are.
what was it?
You guys are.
Compassionate. Wait,
you
what
guys
was it
are
again?
narcissistically compassionate.
Narcissistically compassionate.
That's what you guys are. Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
100%.
Thank you.
Do you not agree with that term?
I don't know
You
what
probably doubt it's.
Honestly,
you don't even know what it means.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't.
Oh yeah, it's a pseudo compassion. That's what it means.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ. Do you just have like a random word generator that on your nightstand that what words
I think
am
this is
trying to
what
use for
people
today?
say when they don't understand complex words.
Yeah,
so
that's
I
what
think
it is,
Jen,
Tyler.
you're gonna lose this one.
No, I'm not. You're just
Hold on.
You're just
Hold on.
I think
Tyler,
that's what it is.
Tyler.
I don't understand
Tyler,
the words.
Tyler,
They're
be
big.
quiet, please.
What do? You just
Tyler.
generate them from
Tyler,
Google
don't make
AI?
me. Tyler, don't make me mute. Can you just be quiet when I ask?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I
Go ahead. Sorry.
appreciate it.
Sorry.
Yeah, like I'm not really interested in a conversation now where we're arguing about who won the conversation. If you'd like to keep having the conversation, we can do it. But I'm not interested in dick measuring, especially given the temperature outside. I think regardless of what you've got, you're probably going to lose because it's just too cold for you. So maybe we could stick to the
That one
discussion.
was a good one. I like it.
Maybe we could.
Wait,
stick
is
to
your
this
joke what I actually
maybe,
thought it was?
Maybe we could stick to the discussion at hand.
The cold in reference
yeah,
to
but making your dick
the
small.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was
that's
a
what
good
it's-
one. I
thank
like
you.
it. I like
Appreciate
it.
Yeah.
Only my hands are cold though. I'm wearing some layers.
All right. Didn't need to know that.
My hands are cold. I'm wearing some layers. Yet you're the one who brought up my wiener. Okay. Makes a lot of sense. You leftists are quite interesting people.
Thank you.
So, anything else you want to literally get dunked on, or what?
Yeah. Pick your poison. It's up to you, pal.
Not stuttering. Yeah. Anyways, so Trump's administration is clearly not misogynistic. It's clearly not fascist. Their cabinet is. Now I'm funny. I like it.
Yeah, I tend to find you funniest
laughing
when
at
you
me,
when
not
you
with
don't
me, I get
when
it.
you don't know that it's a joke. But that was so
I know.
stupid. Yeah. I mean,
Well,
how
I'm just
many?
trying to
There's
bring
like
up what we
there's
were
like
formerly
four
talking
people.
about.
There's like
I don't
four people on
understand.
the cabinet that have been accused
5.
of sex trafficking. Like,
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about women.
yeah, they keep even one of the women. She's in a lawsuit right now for her company bearing stories about young boys being abused by grown men. And Trump's like, you know what we should put her in charge of? Fucking education. Let's make her the education secretary.
I mean,
Brilliant.
I'll look into it, but
Brilliant.
many of the accusations that come
Google
from the
it right
left
now.
are,
Google
are
right now.
felonious
I know,
at
but
best.
Google right now WWE abuse and just look. Read the story about the lawsuit and how the WWE buried this and tried to suppress these stories from coming out. Read about it. And then tell me that this is a good person to be in charge of education. Tell me that, how about Matt Gaetz? He was trafficking women, and it appears underage girls as well.
Explain more about that.
Matt Gaetz was paying women for sex. He was flying them
Good
to
thing he's
DC.
not a part of Trump's administration
He was.
anymore,
I know, but
guess.
Trump put him up. That's why Trump's judgment worries
And then got
me.
rid of him.
Trump didn't get rid of him. Matt Gaetz took his name out of the
Sorry,
running.
my bad.
Yeah, but it
My bad.
concerns me that Trump.
It was probably
Trump-
due to pressure that he was going to not be very favorable
It
anyways. So
concerned me that Trump knew this about him and put him up for.
can you prove that he knew about it?
Yes.
Okay, do it.
Have you ever worked in politics? You know about opposition research?
I have not worked
you know
in
about
politics, no.
you know about vetting?
I mean, I understand the concept of vetting.
Yeah. So Trump's transition team has a group within their team that is supposed to be vetting these prospects.
Still doesn't prove that he knew of that. Like,
Okay, well then
speaking.
it proves that his team is completely incompetent and they put up sex abusers
That
for
could be
nominations.
that could be
and
the
that's
case.
not. And I don't think that's a good argument for Trump that he's so clueless that somehow everybody knew what Matt Gaetz did. Like everybody in this country knows what Matt Gaetz is accused of, and somehow Trump's the only one that doesn't know about it.
Fucking everybody knew that this guy was just like the most evilest politician in America, but yet somehow he's just there.
Yeah, everybody knew about this. You didn't, because you it's not. It doesn't
Well,
get
I'm Canadian,
in the
like-
incel community. It's probably like a flex. So
In the incel, I love the ad hominem attacks. I love that.
Thank
incel.
you. Thank you. Well, I don't
Do you
know.
think
If, I
just
don't know if
because
you
have
are.
a bunch of
I don't know
unde-
if you
Do you
are.
think that
I don't
just
know
because
if you
have a
are
bunch of
or are not. But you get.
Well, then why
you
would
get
you say that?
I said that in the community. That's what I was explaining. So I don't know if you are or are not. But the targeting, the message that is targeted at incels, you seem to repeat.
Yeah, I could just make up all sorts of claims. Like that's
Sure.
laughable. It's the same level of laughability that when I
Laughability,
say
is that
shit, it probably is. I would
Alright.
assume that it is.
It might be. Laugh at
Yeah,
your ability to laugh at something.
Yeah, the level, the level of how hysterically ridiculous it is in what you just
Hysterically
said
ridiculous.
is equivalent to, for example, when I try to accuse the left of various things in which you burst out laughing about.
Like
That's
what?
like one of those
I forgot
things
what
right
I laughed.
there.
I forgot what I laughed at.
Yeah, like for example, global warming jokes, for example.
Oh, yeah, that was dumb.
or anything,
Yeah,
or
that's
anything what you said. Well, I'm not saying that what I said is dumb. I'm saying that the level of how you view those things that I say is the same as how I view what you just said.
No, because the way I view it is right.
Yeah, as I'm freezing my ass off in -20, let's talk about global warming. Like, you fucking idiot.
Well, I'm not advocating that global warming is a thing. So I don't. Yeah, you brought that
you're
joke
not
up on your own. Yeah, no, they changed.
You're not advocating global warming's a thing.
No.
Oh, it's climate change
That's
now,
right. That's correct.
You're so fucking serious about it too. I love it. Anyways,
sorry about that. It's just weird how like 100% of climate scientists say
no, they don't.
No, wait, you didn't
100%.
even
No,
you
they
didn't hear
don't.
the claim yet. You didn't hear the claim yet. How do you know?
I already know the claim. It's another
What's my
consensus
claim?
argument.
I bet you're wrong.
Yeah,
What's
it's
my
just
claim?
simply a consensus.
Okay, but let's
the
just bet.
majority.
Here's the deal. You see that?
The majority.
Hold on. Oh, excuse me.
Okay.
Excuse me. You see that right next to me? That's my Cash App and Venmo. I'll bet you $10 that you don't know the question I was going to ask. Want to do it?
I actually didn't even know you were going to ask a question. I thought you
Okay,
were
well
gonna
then
make a statement.
be quiet till I ask the question. How about that?
Go ahead.
There you go. Yeah. Shit, what were we talking about now? Now I forgot. We were talking about
Smoking too many doobies over there.
I did actually do that right before the show. That's true.
Don't worry, I'm not judging because I do that too.
I don't. Yeah, thank you.
I'm a conservative still, though.
We're talking about climate change. Yeah. 100% of climate scientists agree that humans have an impact on the climate changing. 100%. There's not one that doesn't
so
think
you
that.
Ask
There's
a question.
There's not. Wait, hold on.
You just made a statement.
Excuse me. The questions.
I was right.
Well, you haven't. You're not done yet. There's a question coming. I was making the statement.
I'm not done yet. You meant
Yeah.
you're
So
not done
why?
yet.
Yeah. So why would I not believe that? It's 100%. Why would I not
so
believe
you
that?
had a question following a
Yeah,
statement. I see
statement
what
with a question at the end. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so why would I answer a question when I disagree why would I answer a question when I disagree with the premise?
Okay, who's the climate scientist that says that humans don't have an impact in climate change? Who is it? Cite them, please.
I don't agree with how you just framed that either. Like, I'm not trying to claim humans don't have an impact.
Well, that's that's my
You're
claim.
just straw manning me like continuously.
No, that's my claim, dummy.
Oh, your only claim is that humans have an impact on our environment.
Correct.
And that's it?
Yep.
That's not what I'm disagreeing with.
Okay, well,
in regards to
that's
the
only
rhetoric
stance I've
on
taken.
the left.
That's the only stance I've taken, so I'm not sure what you're disagreeing with then.
Now you're just trying to slither your way out of environmental climate change debate by simply taking
slippery
the
little
most
snake.
easiest. Yeah, because you're trying to take the most easiest, low-hanging fruit stance that everyone literally agrees with.
Yeah.
That's not what's being debated in our society right now. Like what everyone
listen,
agrees with.
This is just me and you, bud. Sorry, I didn't know
Do
there
you
was
think,
a topic.
Yeah. Do you think
that I
that
needed
this
to
is the
stick with.
crux of the? Yeah. This is actually the crux of the environmental debate that's going on in our Western societies right now.
We weren't having an
It's
environment.
just
We
simply
weren't.
whether humans have an
we
impact on
we
it.
weren't having an environmental debate, Chief. I just told you what I believed. That's what you asked me. What do you believe? I believe humans have an impact on the climate. Do you believe the same thing?
Yeah, I believe.
Great. We have
that
common
humans
ground.
have
That's
an impact.
terrific. Let's go to the next thing then. Since we agree on that, you want to talk about something else?
Usually you find common ground on a topic to start out on that topic in which you lead.
Okay, what do you want to go?
your
Okay, go ahead and
disagreements
lead.
with, not
Go
just
ahead and
totally
lead
pivot
into it
off
then.
of the topic.
Go ahead and lead into it. Where were you headed with
so
that?
the things that I even know you and I disagree on, but you're just totally omitting it, is the levels of the impacts that humans have on the earth, right?
Right. Yeah. So we're at besides I think it was like I don't remember how many years ago that we had how many years ago did dinosaurs go extinct? When was that, Jen? How many million years? Any idea?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let's find it. Basically, since then, this is the highest that CO2's been in parts per million since human life existed on this planet. We're seeing that the climate is changing both in severity, and the seasons are getting more extreme. Water temperatures are rising, which has led to more violent storms coming specifically out of the Gulf of Mexico. The thing is like, even if I was wrong about all that, which it could be, like I'm not a climate scientist either, even if they were lying about all of that, like what's wrong with having cleaner air and cleaner water? That's still good.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't disagree to that, but obviously I even disagree. Like, you leftists just constantly straw man and conjure up phrases.
Can you just respond to what I said?
Can
you just respond to what I say instead
this
of
is
doing
my response,
a fucking?
And now you're throwing me off of it.
Sounds like you're. It sounds like you're at school at Hogwarts.
Yeah, you
practicing.
Yeah,
your
basically,
spells.
I'm about to debunk what you just said.
Go
You
for
just said that. Basically, why not have cleaner air?
Yeah.
and all these things.
Yeah, I did say that.
And basically, you're just begging the question. You're begging so many questions.
Yeah, so
is
answer
what
the
you're
question.
doing
I'm begging you. I'm down on my knees. I'm begging. Answer the question.
No. You know
what's wrong
you know
with
what
cleaner
begging,
air and
you know what?
What's
you know
wrong?
what that means?
What's
It means
wrong?
that you have to answer questions, not I.
What's wrong?
That's what that phrase means, in which I just
cleaner
said.
air and cleaner water? What are you opposed to there?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with
All right,
it. That's
cool. So
why
we got
this
agreement
begs the
there too. It
question.
sounds like we need to go to the next part because we agree on
You
that
are
now
so
too.
unphilosophical, it's unbelievable.
That's two things that we've agreed on so far.
This is why you will remain on TikTok with like a very low viewer count in regards to something that you could get on YouTube or any other platform if you were actually genuine and engaged with other philosophers and intellectuals.
You're a really good advocate. The thing I like about you is you are giving advice from somebody who obviously has a massive audience and not somebody who begs.
No, I don't have an audience. I can just observe the entire content.
Thank you. Now we got to start muting it because you won't stop.
I'm not be a content creator myself.
All right, have a good day. See ya. Done with that shit. I don't have time for Tyler.
Noxious.
I got it.
Hey Carlos, I see you in the comments. You're saying that I'm denying your requests. If you don't request and come up here now, I'm just gonna block you. You're a crybaby in the comments. You claim you were crying the last time you were in here. So either request and come up or get blocked. Your choice.
Final girl Leo. That doesn't sound very conservative. Oh, they're not here. It was good talking to you, Tyler. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Tyler, I think Tyler's just lonely, to be honest. I think that's where I've landed. He just wants somebody to have a philosophical debate, and I agree with Tyler. I'm not a good philosophical debater because I don't find a lot of utility in that. So
when people start pulling out straw man fallacy, this fallacy, it's fucking obnoxious. Have a conversation like an adult.
The room just dries up, you know.
Yeah.
It's tough. Let's see. Let me check messages. Good.
All right,
Bree.
Carlos, another 10 or so seconds. And then
Sorry. Bree says, if you're begging on your knees, let me get my leather out. I'm going to be honest, I was trying to get him like a little worked up with that. I wanted to see what he would respond to if I said I was on my knees. Bree says, I know you have a slippery snake. Now come slide into my den. Also, guest was sprinkling those words like parsley. Wisdom has been chasing him, but he's faster. It's not nice. You're straw manning him, and it's actually an appeal to authority. Mark says, the right is usually better at fabricating terms. Dude was like arguing from a thesaurus. Like he just, what he found.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
bye-bye, Carlos.
English lessons from the guy that says guises. Oh, yeah, he does say you guises. That's true. That's true. All right, thanks, guys. Eli, I think, is friendly, right? Maybe not. Is that a different Eli? Eli, welcome. Ooh. All right, no Eli.
Ooh.
Thank you for the well. Jay's 292.
Thanks, Sully.
Most smartest. Yeah. What's up?
Big Boat, you didn't get blocked. You got muted. There's a difference between blocking and muting. Blocking, you wouldn't be here.
JS 54 or S4 292. What's up? All right, love you. Eli, try again. What's up, Eli?
What's going on, RTP?
Hey.
You know, I talked to you before.
Okay, sorry, I have the worst memory. That's on me.
No, you're good. And I mean, I don't have the video clip, but me and you, we betted on this, on who was going to win the election. And I obviously went for Trump, and you went for Harris. I don't have the screen recording. I wouldn't even know how to do that.
Do you remember what day that happened?
Yeah, I think we
Do you
talked in
remember the day?
DMs. Didn't I tell you to just give me the clip?
Yeah, but I don't know how to. Hey, man, I'm not tech savvy.
Do you remember what day it was that you made the bet? Because we've got YouTube on YouTube. We have all of our live replays. You can go.
No,
find
this
it
is a
there.
different guy. This is not the 1K guy. I was talking to the chat. This is a different person.
No, I'm not a. No, I wouldn't bet 1K.
If you remember the day. you can go-
Oh,
we have-
that'll
we
be.
haven't.
I'm not too worried about it.
All right. Well, sorry. There's
But I
a lot
just
of
know-
people that made that claim after, like literally like 50 people, and I'm pretty sure I didn't make 50 bets. So that's why you got to
No,
keep track.
I just remember making a bet with you.
All right. Well, sorry. If you find it
No,
though,
it's
I'd be
all
happy to pay whatever it was.
Man, I'm not going to take all that time to find it.
All right.
I'm not desperate enough for that.
All right.
Do you have anything you would like to discuss or debate?
Oh, not really.
Oh. All right. Well, it was a pleasure. Appreciate you coming up.
Jay, you have a good one.
You too,
Jen,
Eli.
you have a good one.
We'll see
You
it.
too.
Thanks.
Congratulations on your win. Also, it's big. 125 Lee Ave. That's weird.
I just had my washer repaired. I've had the pump replaced. Fun. Being an adult sucks. I hate being an adult.
Never been there. Andrew. What's up, Andrew? Can you tell us how to get Dan? All right, I think that was accidental. All right. Well, look, we'll do a night stream. What's today? Tuesday. I gotta take my daughter to the airport tomorrow morning, and then I'm free basically the rest of the weekend. So we'll do a couple night streams to make up for it. I apologize, but thanks everybody for being here. Who should we raid?
Let me see. Do you have any more messages?
Let me check real quick. Oh, we made it to 12:30. No, I don't think there were any.
Alina's on. It looks
Alina?
like. Yeah, Miss. I'll drop down and I'll put it in the comments.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, everybody, that's it. We're gonna raid Alina, and then I'll be back tomorrow. I may be, just a heads up, I may be a little late tomorrow. It just depends on traffic coming back from the airport. So if I'm late, don't blow up Jen. That would suck. Because then she'll just yell at me, and I don't want to. I'm kind of a baby, and I'm terrified of her. But if you want the replay of today's show, YouTube at RTP Talks. You can catch us on Twitter at RTP Bets, and then Blue Sky and Instagram at RTP Talks. If you want to invite to the Discord, shoot me or any of our moderators direct message. We'll get that over to you. And go say hi to Alina. Tell her we sent you. And I'm going to head over there too. So we'll see you.